Howdy,
Hey,
folks.
everybody. Classic. You know what?
Eh,
You said it. Go ahead, do the intro.
which
Uh,
intro?
The
I got
intro.
it.
You said hey first, so I guess that means you're
I
doing
don't
this
know
whole
the
fucking
intro.
thing now.
I have an intro. I have an intro for you. It's
Alright,
I will do
alright.
the
Intro.
intro.
Hit it, Rifter.
Okay. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. These are your boys. The Dungeon Al Hectorum squad. We're gonna play some fucking D&D for you all for your entertainment. Fucking what's his name? Lork is gonna say I suppose a lot. Rifter is gonna do big stab. Darius is going to be hot. Strunhoff's gonna be old and upset. Dyer is going to steal something at some point, and Aquila is going to heal at some point or another. And if Hate
Hey.
or Doppler are heal, they will be the only serious characters that don't just like look at us like we're a bunch of spurgs.
Hey, Aquila is not
I don't
here.
think
She
you can
can't
say
heal
that.
tonight.
Neither is
Oh,
Doppler.
okay. In that case, Aquila will control when the lobsters die.
Indeed.
Understandable. Have a nice day. So, in a nutshell, we're all gonna fucking die because we are all idiots.
Yes, the
Just
floor
the
here
rest
is
of
made
us.
out of floor. Shall we?
Wow.
Yep.
I suppose.
As much as I enjoy faffing about, we have some Dungeons
Yeah.
to Dragon.
What about some Dragon's Dungeon?
When we last left off, the party had just finished climbing up the ascent of the spire, to which lightning and blizzard is currently beginning to crash down more furiously about it. Deep inside the recesses of the cave, your enemies have fled, leaving you outside to reconvene and regroup.
Well, not wanting to be completely unprepared for this, Lorik found the last minor healing potion in his inventory. Everyone wave goodbye to this healing potion.
Glop, glop, glop.
Hey,
Hey,
cash money.
cash money.
I would like to remind the DM that I am still invisible, or at least I was invisible when.
Wait,
we
why
last
were you
session.
invisible?
Because I did invisible paste.
Ah, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, unless you want to retcon that, because
No.
I assumed the session wasn't gonna end.
You're fine.
Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
I saw the icon and I was like, huh, that's weird. His cloak only works once a day, so I took it off.
I see. I mean, if you want to,
No. If it's the paste, if it's the paste, you're clear.
All right. Okay. Cool. Yeah. So Rifter waves invisibly.
As he moves, there's a transparent shimmer as you see the generally Triton-like shape waving at you, Lork, as the snow behind kind of shifts gently.
Alright, I suppose we don't exactly have much time before something happens. After all, Lo wouldn't have left like that, I imagine.
Fuck him.
Wait, what?
Fuck him. We're gonna kill him.
We're not killing Lo.
Oh wait, which one's low? Oh, I'm
Slime
sorry.
man.
No, you're right. I'm sorry. I thought he was referring to. I thought he knew the name of the creature that threw fucking javelins. But still, Rifter just says, fuck him. I mean, save him if we can and all that, but like, I don't really know that guy.
Well, he taught us how to make
That's fair.
Sloric and dire points.
No. He taught him how to make Slork, and then I suddenly realize I'm invisible, and I say, Strunhall.
Ah. Well, I did almost die in his basement, so.
And several of us have almost died here.
Darius is just back turned, huddled up against a bonfire that he casted.
The storm is getting quite severe.
Should we pursue down the cavern? Or
Agreed.
Should we,
Let us head inside.
At least before we reset out here.
Anything away
Good
from the
idea.
cold. Anything away from the cold. Anything away from the cold.
Agreed, I do not care for the cold.
Yeah, no, and Darius is gonna snake
I
on
hope
us.
the cloak's holding up well.
Enough to not freeze to death, but doesn't mean it's comfortable.
Yeah, step one.
As
Well-
the party begins to pack, well, not pack their things, they don't really unpack, as they gather themselves and head down into the cave. At first, it starts to get slightly warmer as you're out of the immediate vicinity of the roaring blizzard, but over the course of about 20 seconds, it gets darker and darker until some of you manage to light your various instruments that you need. And the general dampness is at least not below freezing anymore. Bonk. You follow down until you find yourself confronted by a large stone, almost golem, that is blocking your path with a couple of the trolls behind him, which are gently emitting this like lightning ice out of their breath as they take their breaths.
Are we in fighting shape?
Not as well as I would hope, but I'd say we still have a good fight or two left in us.
Does anyone know how to talk to them? Maybe now that we've...
I do. Darius steps up.
All
But
right,
I'm
then.
not the best at
Do what you
talking.
can.
I just want to get out
Well-
of here as quickly as possible.
Agreed. And
So,
you're better at talking to them than we are.
what should I say then?
Tell them we want our mate back.
Tell them we'll let them live if they give us slow.
Don't word it like that. Word it
No,
like
I'm-
nobody needs to die or something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
would it
yeah, I think-
less Zell?
Actually, Darius, to make your head warmer, I assume Darius is like, kind of shriveled up. He puts the green hat on top of Darius' head, adjusts it, to fit his head. He's like, you think of anything cooler than what I'm saying? Well, just send
I
me
will have-
messages as I talk.
I was
Tell me how.
about to say we'll have no clue what you're spouting.
Just judge by my face expressions. And yeah, and this will keep your head warm. Walk up. Darius tries to see if anybody reacts to his presence as he slowly, harmlessly walks up.
They are watching you explicitly. The
Okay.
golem in front goes like gong 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 gong, and then spews some what to most of the party is gibberish.
Translate?
I think that meant. No, that's just a simple question. And he turns and he says, we come looking for a friend. You guys don't understand that, of course.
Oh, okay. So you don't literally say that. Okay, I gotcha.
No.
Also,
I mean,
Golden,
I could, but
can I recommend taking a fat refresh on your browser? Since on my screen it shows that you are in fact not a part of the session.
Same.
There's no one.
Yeah, I doubt that
Yeah.
like the four of us all happen to be in the wrong server at the wrong time, and you're in the right one with no one else in it.
There's 3 people here for me, and there is.
You are
nothing
in
else
town.
Besides the start screen. I'm
Are you in
both.
town?
You're in town.
Yeah, you are not in the dungeon.
I was in both.
It sometimes
you
loads the
opened
wrong
both.
one.
And
Yeah,
it
that's
bugs,
why we're
like it
telling you to
always
take the
does.
refresh. There you go.
Hey!
Look at the big brain on Brett.
Fuck you guys. I have both open.
It's okay, I've done that too.
Hey, same here.
All right,
Don't worry about it.
Wikra, if you would be so kind as to message me your response.
Yeah.
Suck
Ooga,
my
ooga.
dick. It's really big.
This is where I would say something that I would regret in the future.
Dude, pee big.
I got a laugh out of you.
Look, my sense of humor is not exactly the most refined.
I don't know what you're talking about. Penis jokes are
Tech
pretty
chat.
refined.
Okay, fair.
Ligma
It's not a
jokes are
penis
like
yet. It hasn't reached there yet.
Ligma jokes are like the pinnacle of all comedy.
Shoot me a
True.
joke.
As the golem does that, some of the some of the trolls behind have a slightly nervous look upon their faces as they continue to look at the party.
Mm-hmm. I respond.
Specifically, the golem speaks Regirigus. It's Reggie. Wait, is it Regigigas that does
It's
that
Reggie
in the main?
Rock.
Huh?
It's Reggie Rock.
Yeah.
Ah,
this is
Reggie Rock, excuse me. My Pokinacular is quite weak.
I responds with a bunch of guttural sounds followed by what sounds like a fart. He's just being formal.
I
Darius through the brain waves asks, "How is it going?"
They're surprisingly talkative. He responds in Mind Link. He only wants to know why we're here, and I'm responding very slowly. I mind linked there to Darius. Did Lo seem like a Yuan-Ti to you?
I don't believe so. I thought he was human from when I was looking at him.
Oh, wait, never mind. He also talked about Strunhof. He's talking about something about stealing our lightning. By this point, Dyer kind of turns. He says, "They're talking about stealing lightning, and seems like they're angry about that. Does that seem like something Lo would do?"
I mean, I feel Sternhoff. What did he need for the creation of the slimes?
The slimes, no. They
No,
use
but what?
gems to be created, not lightning.
So then I would see no reason why he would steal it.
Unless he's experimenting further with something else. entirely.
Perhaps.
It has been probably, what would you say, Mr. Bookkeeper, probably like a month and a bit?
Something around there. Let me.
Hell, actually, wasn't it late, High Sun? It might have been like 2 months at this point.
Yeah, it was around 37 high sun.
Yeah,
It
so
was
it's
it was the floor after the beach.
which means yeah, it was like 2 months.
Almost. Oh, yep. Over 2 months now.
Mhm.
Wow. Time flies when you're assassinating nobles.
Dyer repeats kind of the same words again, but he different inflection, I guess. And he turns to the party and says, Two may come to check if Lo is indeed the person they are guarding. The man. Yeah, they said take the man to the cave. So I assume that's Lo. I don't see many humans here.
No, I suppose you wouldn't. Alright,
I
so who
assume-
are the two that we send?
I assume I should be one of them because I'm the only one that can talk to them.
That seems wise. Perhaps
else?
Struenhof should go as well, since he...
Huh?
I said perhaps Struenhof should go as well. He seems more adept at this sort of thing.
I see no problem in that.
All right. Well, all right. There is. Try to keep that mind link going, and Strunhav follow me. I think I turn to the golem and ask him like, should I follow you? What do we do?
Can you ask them if I can light a fire in here?
Oh, I ask him exactly that, and very formally, very cordially.
The golem puts out its hand, and a single beam of fire and like extreme precision shoots into like the floor there and ignites the stone beneath it, creating like a simmering pool of somewhat molten rock beneath it.
Darius slides over to it.
Well, we don't want to anger that guy. All right, Strunhav, I guess follow me. And Dyer takes a single step up.
I turn around to Sloric and say in our little language, "Stay put, buddy. I'll be right back."
He kind of shrinks down to the ground a little bit and kind of tucks into the corner.
I attempt to snack with them.
Oh, please.
Well, he has said it. Roll your sneak with disadvantage. Actually, just
well,
standard,
wait.
standard.
Yeah, I was about to say I have invisibility, so
Yeah, so standard.
okay.
I think he can smell you or something. I mean,
27.
Okay. So you're able to get past the goal. We will see based on your future actions what you do.
Oh wait, I suddenly realize as I make it past the golem, Rifter suddenly realizes, oh right, they can smell me, and proceeds to back off.
Mm-hmm.
it's literally what happened to us, like, I guess, in lore 15 minutes ago.
The big brain on Rifter.
But given that I have successfully snuck past the golem, I'm going to wait in a little crevice by it, like near it. Like, I'm gonna say right over here. Gonna wait there to see if things go south.
Understandable.
Have a nice day.
One of the
turn-
shamans walks up, does some ooga-agas at Dyer, and gestures the two of you forward.
Dyer nods.
I turn and
follows.
look at Rifter and telepathically say, "Good idea," and keep walking.
He can't see it, but I'm nodding and giving him a thumbs up.
No, I can.
He
I
has
have
he
two
has
invisibilities.
echolocation.
Oh, okay. In that case, I give you the okay sign, a thumbs up, and then I make a pantomime of fucking, like, you know, whole finger, you know.
Classic.
Invisibility.
And then I point to them as well, as in we're going to fuck them.
Rifter, whatever you're doing.
I didn't know Lorik had true sight.
No, but he has adult supervision.
Nice, nice.
Shit.
They make their way around the corner of the bend,
Mm-hmm.
out of the rest of the party's line of sight.
Oop. That's a bet.
That is a bet. At this point, they gesture you upwards.
I thank him cordially, and I take dab.
As you enter the room, you see what's essentially just a surprisingly miniaturized versions of the creatures, rather than being the like 7, 8, 9 feet tall that the others were. This one is only about 2 to 3 feet tall, but still with the entirety of the beards and the fangs and the hair and the bristles and everything, as it quickly hops and runs through one of the cracks in the wall.
Oh,
And for
I assume that's
Schoenhoff,
not-
you're able to instantly tell, and Dyer, it takes a little bit to start seeing through the dark with the torch you have lit up,
Mhm.
that there is, in fact, though, currently chained up to the wall, and he's pretty seriously beat up with some with a fair bit of blue pale skin as he kind of looks up and, oh boy, rescue crew.
Are we able to tell that his skin was a different color last time we saw him?
Yes, he
I
is
think- I
very
think-
cold.
I think he means pale blue as in like frostbite. We get close and
Ah.
say, "Oh, why are you stealing lightning?"
What?
Sire, I don't think that's the first thing you should ask him.
Oh, are you okay?
That's better.
He just looks at you with a little bit of a squint in his eye.
What happened
Sorry.
here, Lo? How'd you get here?
They just busted in one day. Thought fuck. Do we have to talk about this now? God.
Well, we
No,
can't.
you
we,
can
we-
explain later.
We didn't reach here by breaking in. We asked to see you, and they allowed us in.
He starts to lower his voice. Well, that makes things more complicated. Right? And so what the fuck does that have to do with me?
We're trying to get you out, I think.
Okay. What's the plan? Alright, and
Well,
And
we've beaten them pretty badly already, so we're going to negotiate.
yeah, I think that's the plan. He's the one with the brain.
if you can understand these monsters. Alright, well, good luck.
So no lightning stealing from your part.
Who are you saying this to?
Too low, of course.
Sorry, can you repeat the exact question?
Yeah, so no lightning stealing from your part.
I don't even know what the fuck's going on.
Yeah, that's a good question.
What Dyer is trying to say is that they told him someone was stealing lightning from them, and they must have found you and blamed it on you.
Look, this could be so much easier if you just like look at the chains. Come on, just pop it off. Come on.
That seems like a great way to make Boonga Boongas Boongas. I look at Strunhoff.
He
Yeah.
looks at Shunhoff and says, "Look, you remember me? I'm a mage, okay? Like, just take the shackles off, and I'm sure we'll get out. Just come on, man."
Are those anti-magic?
Probably.
There's like. Mm,
Nice one, Lord.
he just. Wait. Oh. He's like, hey, Strunhoff, can we talk? You know, can you do the thing?
Now it's not the most appropriate time.
At
but
this point,
sure.
one of them kind of peeks in and checks in to see what you're doing before stepping back out.
Yeah, we're literally just standing. I'm staring at Strunhoff. He's probably staring at me. I mean, if you wanna just.
At this
Do that,
point,
it's fine, do
Darius,
that.
you are no longer able to hear what Dyer is thinking. At least, like, the communication that the two of you had going.
Okay.
Gotcha. All right, if you want to bust that open, do it.
They did just come in and check on us. It's
Yeah.
the right thing to do, but not the smartest.
That's what I'm trying to say.
I turn back to him. We're gonna get you out of here. Just hold on a bit longer.
Thanks.
Come on, Dyer. We have
We s-
negotiations to do.
Gotcha. Oh, we summoned the slime, by the way. He's growing up great. Okay, let's go.
Yeah,
Shut up, Dyer.
good.
Hang in there. All right. I take a step and I look at asshole.
He essentially has his javelin held low, just essentially ready
Yeah,
to stab
no.
at a moment's notice.
I say hello in the thing, and we can take it to DMs if you want.
No, at this point, it's
Okay.
it's probably going to
Yeah.
be intense enough.
I greet him very formally, calmly.
He
Say-
gets to the point. Is that
Mhm.
him?
Say, yes. Why is he imprisoned?
Steals the lightning. Our
He
food.
he claims that's not something he even knows how to do. Do you have proof that he did it?
His tower steals lightning.
I turn to Strunhav and say, seems like they've seen it, or at least have proof that the tower steals lightning, and it is his tower. That's fair.
Well, can you ask them if they've actually seen the tower do it,
Have you
or is it
actual
just
visual?
speculation?
Do you have actual visual evidence that the tower is the one stealing lightning from you?
He just kind of crouches a little bit lower and like it is just he thinks that that's an incredibly stupid question and is rearing on being
Mhm.
ready to attack.
I tell him that doesn't seem to be their way of thinking. Yeah.
He yells something out of like along the lines of, "Do you really think we'd risk our lives on just a guess?" Of
No,
course,
of
we've
course.
seen it.
Of course not. My mistake. He apologizes. We're new here. We do not understand the circumstances of your troubles. He thinks about it. Is there any form of negotiations we can do to prevent further lightning from being stolen from you? But
He
not
kind of
without
calls
his
out,
death.
"Who even is he to you?"
Is he to us? He turns to Strunhav.
He's our friend.
He's a. We met him in good terms, and he would be considered a friend by some definitions. He tells it to Troll.
Okay. He does not say anything because some of that stuff does like the some of that is lost in subtlety.
Mm-hmm. No, definitely. He stops and he says, a little bit of friend, basically. But we would like to see him freed, but we would also like to see no lightning being stolen.
He exasperatedly throws down his spear into the ground. It kind of cracks and disappears into the ground as he calls out another person to come take his place, who does as he walks away,
Okay.
who ends up having the conversation instead as the other person is clearly starting to have a bit of a temper.
Okay. There's like, okay, making mental notes of how to speak giant again, and he says, could we negotiate his release?
If
To the
the
giant.
lightning returns, he can.
How do we do that?
He just points at you and says, "Your problem."
Is the lightning being stolen right now? Is that the problem?
They shake their head no, which is the first thing that Schunhoff is able to understand at least.
So it has been gone.
Like, So it has been gone. Is that literally what you say? So it has
Well,
been gone?
I mean, if you're gonna catch me on English semantics, I don't think it's fair.
No. I mean, like,
I'm asking
yes,
as it has been
it
gone for a
was
long
gone.
time.
It was gone and it
Like,
has
did the
been gone. Yes, like,
yeah,
like
did the
that's why I'm
lightning get
saying, what do you
stolen?
mean?
Hasn't it been stolen and has not come back? Is that the problem? It's not that there's just an antenna. Like I ask him,
He says it's back now. And as you recalled, there was lightning striking the top of this mountain when the storm was rolling in.
And I say, so as long as he's chained, lightning returns. Is that why he's chained here? I ask him, why haven't you killed them? Yet.
Bad man killed our kids.
Him? I point like to Dyer's right, which would be where Low is.
Yes.
I turn to Strunhav and I translate just generally what has lately transpired, and I tell them that that apparently Low killed their kids and stole their lightning. And ever since he was gone from the tower, it has not been stolen. What does he think?
Well, that second part complicates things a bit.
Plus, they seem to have a fair point. You know, I wouldn't want my food to be stolen.
Ask them more about what happened with the kids.
What?
He
what
he
happened?
responds
I
with
asked him.
in giant is like 3 words, but for English is 2. They starved.
I tell the Strunhav, well, they starved. They starved, and they're kids.
Schernhoff is thinking for a moment. Tell them that we can guarantee their lightning will not be stolen if he is released.
But can we do that?
I don't know, but it's worth a shot.
He tells them exactly that. He tells them, we will guarantee you that we will stop the lightning from being stolen if he is released.
The chief has returned and says, how, essentially.
I look at Strunhoff. He's the translator at this point. He says, he asks how.
We will make sure he doesn't do it to maintain peace in this realm.
He turns to the chief. We seek peace for this realm, and we will prevent him from doing it because of it.
There's
We're not on his
a
side.
fair bit of chuckle from some of them before he asks, and what of those that you've already killed and that he's killed? Where
turn to
is
Strunhoff.
their peace?
They have a fair point. They're saying that we killed a bunch of their people and he killed a bunch of their people.
Tell him it is unfortunate for those who have fallen, but surely you also want peace if you are not trying to kill us at this very moment.
Dyer takes a translator's note and he turns to the chieftain and says, well, surely you want peace if you haven't killed us or him. We apologize, but it's not enough.
He says he only cares for peace such that his tribe does not continue to die.
Dyer translates it back.
In
He says,
a bit of vulnerability, he essentially says that they don't have a stockpile anymore. This is like a very specific word that like he has to re-clarify after a little bit of confusion. That
basically out of.
Go ahead.
Basically their safe house of lightning is empty. No more stored up lightning, so they can't have Low there sealing all their thunder.
Ask them if they can show us the storehouse.
Why?
One of them begins to move away.
I ask him that, yeah.
This one, to Strunhoff at least, and begins to move away. Which, of course, Dyer would take as come here.
Okay.
Oh boy, everybody's typing. People are getting antsy.
Oop.
Again, you see a small, essentially gremlin of them, which quickly runs past you with a couple sparks belting from its mouth as it does and kind of dripping onto the floor. As they move forward, and there's a small, almost glass container that certainly does not seem like it's something that they would be able to produce themselves, which has a couple bits of electricity kind of gently sparking around inside it, but at a very low speed.
Well,
There's a small
that's it.
nozzle at the bottom.
Kind of look at Dyer and say, "This doesn't seem like technology they would have." No.
No, definitely. I ask him. I ask him who made it for them, or if they made it.
He looks at you and responds, "It is us, it is our heart.
I respond to him.
I do
He
not
says
ask
it is
you
their
why
heart.
you exist."
That's true, he says. And he turns to Strunov. He says it's their heart. It's their existence. So a lot of
Tell him to fetch the chief.
please please call for the chief, he tells the guy.
He doesn't respond much, but after a little bit, he eventually hollows out, and multiple of them descend into that section. And in fact, the group down at the entrance starts to see like one orc moves from the left, but then a couple of them move up that were previously with you. So to recap, Rifter, Darius, and Lorik sees two of the orcs who had been guarding the front have left, and now it is just two of the trolls have left, so now there are only two and a golem remaining at the front. There are no signs of particularly loud noises yet.
So what do you want to say?
Tell him that
Diding.
Tell him that I'm a storm sorcerer and that I could try and charge this for them.
This is there says exactly that he can do storm magic. He could try to charge your he tries to repeat the word he doesn't know exactly how to pronounce, stockpile of lightning for food. So he just says it randomly, points at it and says he could try to recharge that.
One of the more shaman-esque ones kind of steps forward and kind of reaches their hand out at Schönhoff a little bit.
I take his hand.
As you do, a little bit of like sparks kind of fly into him. He's slightly startled at first, but then he kind of starts grabbing and pulling you along.
Oh,
How does
I follow
Dyer and him
Strunov.
react?
I I say, hey, what are you doing? But calmly.
So at this point, you're just being tugged since you're not saying anything. I assume you're just okay with it?
No, I mean I'm asking him what is he doing?
Oh, he's not saying anything. He's just running with them.
I ask the other ones.
Schönhoff, what do you do?
Well, I keep going along because I can't really talk to them.
Okay. So the rest of the party sees as Struenhoff is being dragged past the golem. Not dragged like on the floor or anything, but it's certainly keeping a higher pace than he is.
Strunhoff, what's going on?
He kind of pushes his way, slightly knocking Lorik over as he kind of just jolts past.
I'm not sure. They wouldn't respond to Dire, and thus Dire couldn't respond to me.
They get to the top and finish dragging you out, and they point to the like above the section of the cave where like the peak kind of coalesces into a sharper point, and he like shoots a small lightning bolt at it.
I look at him and I point with my hand and then gesture to my hands.
And then he kind of holds his hand out in the same way and shoots a little lightning bolt. Another little one at the same location.
I'm going to use 7 out of my 9 sorcery points to get back my 5th slot.
Okay.
And then I'm going to cast I'll cast a 4th level lightning bolt, but while I'm preparing to cast it, I'm going to hold my necklace in my other hand.
Okay. Would you like to roll with your empowered ability?
Do I just roll normal or at advantage?
It is your empowered. You're using your empowered ability, yes?
You don't roll damage with advantage ever, right?
Well, no, it's a passive ability, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess I am rolling with it.
Superb.
So then, oh wait, that's not damage. I'm small brained.
F. Wait,
Ooh.
no. Wait, isn't one of your hold on, am I misremembering what one of them is?
One of what is?
One of the necklace things?
Well, one of my meta magics is I can reroll a number. I can reroll up to 5 of the rolls.
Oh yeah.
Eh,
You should, if you're doing 4th level, shouldn't you also have an extra D8 there?
eh,
Shouldn't it be
yeah, it
9
should be an
or
extra
extra
D6.
D6?
It should be an 8d. No, it should be a 10d6 actually because of the level 4 and my necklace.
Oh, okay.
Pog.
So you could
So-
2d6 more and then use meta magics to reroll the ones.
That is
So
true.
4 ones, right? So I'll reroll
Yeah.
those 4.
Hey,
And then give me the additional +2 to things.
Plus 2 what? Oh, the yeah.
Yeah, because it was 10, not 8. Alright. So,
those
who
are the
all
D8s, not
followed
D6s.
Schoonhoff up into the surface?
Darius did.
Lork would have.
Rifter
Might
would
as
have
well if
been.
they're just gonna stare at me even though I'm the translator.
Oh wait, those
Rifter-
are 8s. I'm bad.
Did Dyer come up?
I don't think so. He stayed down.
Did Rifter come up?
I would have been
Or-
at like the very, very back, like just so that nobody else could. I would want to be at everyone else's back.
Gotcha.
So the furthest back I could be.
So, Dyer, you just hear as there's a tremendous crack of lightning that comes rippling down the cave as just the thunderous doosh just echoes through the entirety of the chamber, and there's a whizzing in the area above you.
Did you want me to reroll those, or does you not care anymore?
Weren't you re-rolling? Wasn't that the 48?
No, I
The
did.
lightning bolt
reroll.
is
They were-
D6s.
they were
Oh.
There's
eights,
supposed
not
to be
sixes.
D6s.
You know what? It's fine. It is completely fine. Multiple of the ones who are up there begin slightly gawking and moving upwards. He yells out with haste a word that you only partly understand is like a action word, who rushes past.
I follow.
As you get there, you see as Low is being unlocked and just barely being, not exactly thrown out, but just like hastily unlocked.
I walk below and say, "All right," like supporting him, right? Like as he's probably on the floor.
Yeah.
So, all right, all right, all right. Get you kind of patched up, and I try to use, I don't know, my med kit. I have
As you're
one
like
of
right
those.
next to him, he just looks up at you and says, "Can we leave? Quick before
Yeah,
they
yeah.
figure out whatever's going on."
It's pretty. It's honest work. You know, they probably. You know, yeah. But let's go.
He grabs onto you and suddenly you disappear.
Dara says, "Ship!" As he gets teleported out. All right.
Alright. So, for the party up top,
Hmm. What in the hells was that?
Well, they wanted me to charge the spire of theirs.
Hmm. Alright, do you think we should wait for Dyer then?
I mean, he's still in there, right? You didn't see him come out with the rest of them?
I think so, at least.
Guess that's the only reasonable approach.
okay. As you go back down, you hear essentially hootenanny going on, as multiple of them are yipping and whatnot. There is revelry being performed. Some of them that even like had a couple of their scars that are regrowing from a little bit of the fight go up and like attempt to at least hug some of the members of the party. Specifically
Party.
Schoonhoff for the most part.
If any of them try to get close to Lorik, he would immediately bristle and try to move away as inconspicuously as a 6'8" dragonborn can do.
Against 8-foot giants.
I mean, Lorik's
Yeah.
like what, 7'2"? 6'8", something like that?
6'8". Yeah.
I was like 7'10" plus or minus 2 if plus or minus 2 made sense with proper numbers. Or no, 6'10" if plus or minus 2 made sense with numbers.
Struenhoff is
Because
only
for some
slightly
reason we use base
uncomfortable.
12. What's up?
Struenhoff is only slightly uncomfortable with these new developments.
Alright. Eventually one of them like kind of picks you up and like starts chanting, holding you like above its head a little bit.
Oh, Stringhoff's a new god.
Alright, we're... Hmm.
That's cute.
Darius, do you think we should get him out of there?
He kind of carries you and leads a lot of the other party. The golem steps aside and leads you up towards the section where Dyer and Schoonhoff previously had been. Rifter, I'm assuming you follow them?
Yes.
So for you, after having heard that thunder, you just come back down and you see Schoonhoff being carried above one of the trolls' heads.
I look at that curiously, but I just assume Schoenhoff knows what he's doing.
With like, oh yeah, 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 and like other such excitements.
I just go ahead and briskly follow.
I look at him with a very specific expression and give him a thumbs up.
I give him a thumbs up as well. I remain invisible, but I'm noticeably happier.
As you make your way over, you see that the essentially reservoir is sparking with a whole bunch of lightning energy.
By the way, oh, okay, never mind.
And the chieftain like has his hand underneath the essentially tap of it, and it's flowing into his body.
Curious. All right. Has anyone seen Dyer in here?
Last I saw, he was around this area.
All right. Rifter, if you're anywhere near here, can you try to find Dyer?
I whisper to Lork, on it, and I search the place.
Perhaps the rest of us should try and get out of here, at least.
DM, how far do I make it before, or how much time does it take me to like search the majority of this place?
It'll probably take about 2 minutes, 3 minutes.
Okay. All right. Cool.
It's fairly small, and it's not like you're doing like checking for traps and whatnot.
Yeah. I unless there's other business to be had, I basically just do it
He
and come
does
back.
that.
Yeah.
Another shaman and essentially one of the kids walks forward. One of the kids has like a stone with some like black charcoal on it that's like drawn of like a hooded figure with like a single eye in the middle of the forehead with like lightning bolts coming out of its hand.
Oh.
In the other one has like a whole bunch of different bits of scrap metal that it drops on the floor.
When I see that, I just go ahead and I uninvisible. And I say, "Oh, that's just precious."
You startle them, and the kid drops the rock onto the ground and runs away.
Ha!
The shaman, however, remains put and just is, I wouldn't say bowing, but like, I'll say kneeling. Let's use that word.
You know, Rifter, you don't have to be so dramatic.
I look at you curious now, like, I don't know what you mean. Regardless, yeah. Where the fuck is he? I
At
look
this
over to...
point, Darius begins to hear something in his head.
Is that my cue?
Well, I will send him the message if he would be so kind as to check it. But for some reason, I got a shit ton of messages on Discord today from a bunch of different people, so he's not even like the first 2 pages.
Stop being popular.
Yeah, imagine
He's
being
streamer, man.
popular enough to get more than one message a day.
True.
That is the message you received, Darius.
Do we notice Darius like
Darius is slightly pondering.
Yeah, okay. I look over to him and I just wait because I can tell from his facial expression that he's doing big think. He's an acquired a taste for freeform jazz, I can tell.
You like jazz?
Oh, I love that scene.
Yeah. Okay, I'm glad somebody else got it.
Yeah.
I'm assuming I'm too busy to ask Darius what's up.
Yeah, you're kind of being exalted in a way that you don't know, but or at least that you don't know the literals of. But yeah, depending on how much of it, you know, this is a good question. How is Struenhoff's ego? Would he be slightly engorged by the fact that they're praising him, or would he be nonchalant and still just paying attention to the situation?
Slightly engorged, but not surprised, since storm magic is the only thing he knows how to do.
Oh, I just realized I was
That's
muted.
such a fair point.
We
Oh my god.
I was like, why are they ignoring me? They're not.
It's
He
because
sort of
Darius is worthless, that's why.
he sort of
Easily the
taps
weakest member of the party.
Lork. He sort of taps Lork on the shoulder and then taps Vermilion, that's the name of it, on the shoulder. He's like, Dia's back at the tower. We're all right to go when we need to.
Alright,
And-
I suppose it falls to me to extract Strunhoff from this situation. This might take a while. You all go on ahead of me.
When you tell me that, I kind of nod. I'm like, oh, good. And then I then bring up. I whisper to you. By the way, we may have to fucking kill him.
Why?
And I point over to Sternhoff and I say something was causing these fuckers to be fucky.
So, Darius,
Yes.
the chieftain walks forward to you, points at his javelin, and then points at you. He he throws his javelin to the side and then squeezes his hand tight as it like returns to his hand as it like disappears into the ground beneath it and points at you again.
Oh, Darius sort of reaches down. Is the ground ice, stone, or
At this
like what's under the
location, it's
ground?
slightly frozen over stone. Like it's stone with a very, very gentle level of like icy frost.
Yeah, Darius is gonna reach down to the ground and like almost looking like he's pulling it out of the ground, pull out his lance and like hold it sideways in front of him.
He kind of gets on one knee and he's clearly struggling to do this, and he just holds it out in like one of his hands, offering it.
Darius, he's offering the spear.
Yes.
Darius takes the spear and sort of nods his head like and does like a pretty deep bow, but not like too deep, like, you know.
Am I still preoccupied?
Oh, entirely. You are preoccupied until you or Lorik choose to actually, you know, break it, because they are excited.
If Strunhoff doesn't respond within like 30 seconds to Lorik kind of gently trying to prod him out of the conversation, Lorik is literally just gonna sling him over his shoulder.
I mean, I can't understand why you have my full attention.
I was saying that if Strunhoff doesn't respond to, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
So Lorik is basically gonna tell Strunhoff that it's time to go, and kind of look expectantly at him.
Can you tell Darius to get Dyer back for us? Because it might be hard to tell them that we're leaving without a translator.
I think they'll get the idea when we leave.
See, that's the problem. I don't think they want me to leave.
All right, let's. I think this will convince them. Lorik says that as he then proceeds to literally just sling Strunhoff over his shoulder like a sack of potatoes, marching his way out.
One of them grabs onto him as you like start to pull him away, and he's slightly pinated.
Slightly pinated.
Well, that is certainly an interesting phrase.
I mean, it gets the idea across, doesn't it?
No, I know. I'm just like, I think it's funny to use pinata as a verb.
Indeed. English is fucky wucky.
True.
The chieftain reaches his hand out into the rocky wall beside him, kind of crushes his hand and squeezes together a small pellet of rock. They're a little bit bummed by the situation, but then he kind of pushes some of his fingers into the rock, and it forms a small, like, two small blue curved triangles, somewhat reminiscent of Dyer's horns, and he hands that to Schoonhoff before issuing some words, and they let Schoonhoff go.
Well, that went better than
Okay.
expected.
We have to rejoin Dyer, find out what in the hell has happened, and then proceed from there. Any objections?
No, but I would like to talk to them with Dyer, since he's the only one who can.
Alright. So we still have to find Dyer first.
Yes, they're back at the tower. Can we go, please?
Right.
I'm not enjoying the cold.
That's what I've been trying to make happen.
All I know is that Lo and us have some talking to do.
Agreed, and we can do that talking back at the tower.
Aye, let's go.
Darius like shivers, like manually shivers a little bit as like a sort of like a sort of like this is blech, and turns back to all of the trolls and nods, and he sort of mumbles "Taz Dingo" as he leaves.
God damn it.
Darius, I would like you to roll me 66.
Do you have a T card?
You can't just call him the T word.
You take 23 shame points that get added to your account.
I have 23 shame points. Poggers.
If it
Yep,
ever
this is-
reaches more than your maximum health, you will perish of heart attack.
In real life or in the game?
But JC, he can't die. He can only be reduced to 1
Mhm.
HP.
Supposedly, supposedly. If that's your interpretation of it.
The dude just sees you, notices you have shame points. I know what must be done.
I know what I must do, but I do not know if I have the
Yeah,
strength
yeah,
to do it.
exactly.
I like to imagine that Lorik has not actually put Sternhoff down yet.
Carry the friend. Carry the friend. Carry the friend. Carry the friend.
So Sternhoff, how does it feel to be a sack of potatoes?
Well, I certainly don't feel like the potato part.
Does the party head back to the tower pretty much immediately?
Yes, Darius
Oh.
is being very explicitly rapid about going back.
Yeah, we do have a freezing snake out here.
I proceed with hurry as well, as I do not like the cold. However, I do ask Strunhoff to fill me in on what exactly happened, because while I, the player, do, Rifter only knows that suddenly we were in murder mode and now we're all good.
I explained to him in layman's terms, since he is not a mage, that basically I charged their reservoir for them.
Aye, and do we know why it was gone?
They claim Lo did it, but Lo claimed he has no idea what was going on.
My eyebrow twitches and I say,
If he did that, I'm going to rip him apart.
No, you won't. He's already been beaten. He gets the idea. They've already done
That
their
is if-
job for you.
If he doesn't deny it still and keep doing it.
He still breathes.
If he's stupid enough to continue to do it, he deserves to die.
A bit harsh,
I
but
suppose.
agreed.
But once the party gets out of the frozen wasteland, Lorik pretty much immediately holds his hand out for the cloak.
So Darius, as you make your way through what's essentially a battered, blackish shell of just not quite energy, it's almost like glass, and like the snow is only slightly starting to fill in, the general attitude goes immediately from being cold and snowy to just wet in a way that you've never been so happy to just be cold and damp.
Darius removes the cloak, throws it over Lorik's head, and like raises his hands up and is like, I cannot wait to see the sun again.
Agreed. Can't wait to be done with it. plane. And despite the initial indignity of having the cloak thrown over his head, Lorik attempts to put it on in a more dignified manner.
Cute.
Am I no longer being potato sacked?
At this point, yeah. Lorik's attention has diverted to putting the cloak on, so Struenhoff is no longer potato sack.
So wait, how long were you carried?
From the cave to the border of the dome.
Oh wow, that's like a solid 10 minutes. Damn.
Give me an athletics check. No, I'm just kidding.
Schoonhoff is skipping leg day.
Ooh, could you imagine?
Weak sauce.
Michael
You
here.
could just conjure up like a Lorik servant that carries you around. That would be pretty cool.
Dude, if you could exercise brain like a muscle, I'd be sitting on the brain throne.
And he's not talking about in D&D.
No, I am.
No, he's definitely not.
In this timeline, in
Mhm.
this economy,
Listen, only people who own quarries are big enough brain to like this post.
So yeah, does the Rifter's gonna go ahead and go over to the drawbridge and try to enter again.
Drawbridge?
Or oh, I'm sorry,
It's just a
bridge.
fucking bridge.
Listen. It's a castle, therefore it must have a drawbridge.
Yes,
that's,
of course.
That is
Wow,
the way
talk
of the
about
world.
stereotypes.
There can only be one answer.
All bridges known made after the 14th of Cade window is B drawbridge, not move, and B stone.
Hashtag not all
Drawbridge.
pages.
Drawbridge looks like a digital one to me.
What are you doing, Step Bridge?
I will murder all of you.
I go ahead and I'm going to enter. I'm gonna look for Low.
Low is not to be found, but the slimes, the slimes that were waiting at the entrance merrily greet you.
I look around. I say, "How the fuck did we beat them here?"
We didn't. They're probably on another floor.
Well, by all accounts, it doesn't make any sense, so it probably didn't happen.
They're
Who wants
definitely
to
not in
check
the
downstairs
basement.
and who wants to check upstairs?
We've been downstairs. We're not going downstairs.
Who's to
Somebody
say
has
that
a brain.
Dyer isn't downstairs?
Somebody come get
I
her.
kind of just look at him and say, "Do you remember what happened last time he went down there?"
Dyer
Yes.
almost got vored.
All right, so we're going up.
But that doesn't mean that Low couldn't have taken him downstairs.
I kind of just turn and look at him while I start climbing up the ladder.
Big wheeze.
Low
Reverse
bringing Dyer
climbing?
in through his back entrance? Ah, shameful.
I don't like where this
Darius,
is
you're not
going.
helping. In an effort to distance himself from the increasingly dumb conversation, Lorik silently proceeds up the ladder.
Let's see how it is. Would anyone else like to be a big, stupid, dumb idiot and actually, like, go where you're trying to go?
I look over at Darius, or I'm pretty sure it was Darius, and I say,
Didn't they contact you?
He just said he was in the tower.
"All right, I'm gonna go ahead and go up and look around for this fucker."
Alright. Da-dum-da-down. You move your way up to the first floor.
Oh, hi,
What are
Doppler.
Doppler
you,
and Hate
British?
suddenly teleport there next to the bronze heating pipes. In and about you is a series of different libraries with a little bit of chairs strewn about.
Strewn a huff.
Strewn a half, yes.
Yeah.
There they are.
As you approach, there says, and then he said, "I don't like water. The heavy armor is too heavy." Oh, hey guys.
Dyer, that sounds nothing like me.
You don't know that.
Hmm.
How's he doing, Dire?
Um,
He just
I quickly
interjects.
I see Vermilion just go for the like
I
backthroat slit.
I run around and I look down upon Lo and I say, "Listen, you son of a bitch."
He's looking at
Okay.
Dyer and the rest of the gang and says like, "How do I look? I'm doing And then like Rift is just behind him and he just stops talking.
I point to the scar on my eye. I say, "I swear to fucking God, if you did that shit, I'm gonna fucking slit your balls off."
By the gods, Rifter, I'm going to fucking wipe you off this plane if you don't get away from him. In a
You-
nice way, of course.
Dyer
tell me-
gives the floor to Lo.
I just kind of like wave you away. I say, "You can tell me what to do once we found answers." Now, what the fuck was that?
He gently kind of pivots his upper torso towards you and basically very calmly says, "They had the opportunity of getting the jump on me and turning off my magic. You don't have that luxury. So why, when I've just been rescued from being nearly murdered, is that your answer? Why is that how you're greeting me?"
Because I took a fucking 20-foot. I like substitute that 20-foot with just any generic voice. Fall for you. Got this, and I point to my scar. And also, those fuckers were angry for a reason. I don't know you. I don't know if I can trust you.
He
You can trust him. Give him some space.
he
Let him
looks at
explain.
Schoonhoff and says, "Was that from this?" And he just gestures at his eye. His own
mean,
eye.
By accounts of technicality, he did sustain the injury in trying to save you.
He kind of gently picks up the chair and just turns it facing Rifter and says, "Come here."
I confusingly come forward, and I'm like, what?
He reaches forward and all of a sudden Rifter turns into Kentucky Fried Chicken as he's a fried bird. He reaches forward and puts his palm on the side of your face, and over the course of about 10 seconds, you feel really warm in your face.
He kills me, but we will both surely die. Lamau, he said.
Lamau,
Lol,
he says.
said.
Lol.
Lamau. Lol, he says. No, it's lol, says the scorpion. Lamau.
Lamau.
We're all
But
gonna
yeah.
die here.
And after those 10 seconds, as the rest of you look, Rifter no longer has that wound on his face.
I go ahead and I look down and I touch my face, realize it's all good, and I say, I got like the anger you can see just dissipates. I'm just like, fuck it, no harm, no foul. And I move back to my friends.
He looks at you and he's like, "Who are you, by the way? You're new."
No, he's not, Darius says as he steps forward and he sort of pats, like, reaches up and pats Vermilion on the head. It's Bird Brain.
So the suspicious one. That makes sense.
I go ahead and I touch my neck as if it's a mask. And I go, "It was me!" And I pull my hand forward, pantomiming removing a mask, and I transform into Rifter.
It was me the whole time. Damn, the
It was
oldest
me the
chick
whole
in the
time.
brook.
It was a test to see how you would treat a newcomer.
And I give little jazz hands and like put my foot out. I say, "Ta-da!"
Rifter walks to Lo. Lo, I've been having dreams about the Kenku murdering me in my sleep.
Lorik just sighs at the series of events unfolding before him.
But no, seriously, if I don't know why you decided to have an angry mob, but laddie, I would recommend not doing that again.
He just gently shrugs. He says, "I still don't know what it is, but if you have any idea, I'd be more than willing to learn." And
Oh,
he
do you not
kind of
speak
looks
giant?
over to now being Rifter. "Is that really all it took? Your Sure, that's it.
I
What do you mean by that?
He
Yeah,
just
I
gestures
don't-
at his own eye.
I interject. He's a simple-minded one. That one.
In all fairness, he had taken quite the beating beforehand.
I just look at him and I just say, "Look, you ever been in prison before?"
No, that was my first time.
Right. So in prison, you see, when somebody cuts you, pride dictates that you gotta fucking stab him up.
Hmm,
Hmm.
I'm sure.
You know, Rifter, I worry about you sometimes.
I'm a simple man.
Hmm.
When something bad happens to me, I kill someone.
It's a very effective way of doing things, to be honest.
I agree.
Hmm.
Anyways, Lo, do you speak Giant?
He raises his eyebrow. No.
Okay.
I'm
so
sure
let
that
me
would have
explain.
made things way easier, wouldn't it?
Therein
Yeah, in
lies the
fact,
root
they
of
were
the
very
problem.
talkative folk. They had really beautiful vocabulary, not a single swear the whole time.
Hmm.
They basically said that you stole their lightning and their children were starving and they were all gonna die. What do you think?
I think it sounds like it's not my fault, but if they think it is, I'm sure we can find
Because
something.
they'll-
How did the rest of you sneak out?
Oh, look, it's
Snake
really
out.
hard.
Well,
Well, we didn't,
There he says. Hell,
we
we
didn't
were
sneak out. I recharged their reservoir with my own magic.
I mean, if you could do that load for them, I assume you can. You're a mage. You can probably keep running your tower without them knocking on your door again when you're trying to shower.
He just kind of puts his hand slightly out from, like, elbow splayed from his hips, and he's just like, "That's all it takes?" Like, and he's just
I don't. So what did you do,
exasperated.
Shunha? How did you charge their battery? I assume it was really hard.
No, I kind of just shot a lightning bolt where the shaman pointed me.
Wait, the thing you
Well-
did when we fought the displacer beasts, just that spell?
Yes and no, because I was holding this and I kind of just like flashed the necklace briefly with my other hand.
Oh.
Darius sort of like rolls his hands over each other. That is important because
Magical Viagra, I see.
That's a good way to
Retcon,
put
no, declined.
Oh. Shame damage?
A magical steroid.
Yeah, you know what? Let's give that 2d10 shame points.
who's the
wait,
2d10 going
saying
to?
toss dingo because there are trolls is 66, but making a bad dick joke is only 2d10.
Well,
Yes,
what if
because
kinda
at least
racist?
his was in character. At least partly.
To be fair, Rifter does make a lot of dick jokes.
Rifter makes a lot of genitalia jokes.
And Darius is not
Fair.
particularly one to, you know, has
Lower
play
dingo.
himself
play
to
Warcraft.
I mean, he did say that he's only a little bit racist. So that's
He's not outwardly racist.
that,
Not
yeah,
outright.
that,
Darius be like, I'm not racist. But
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 Capital B, but.
Not gay.
no, like he's like a whole ass. I'm not racist. Semicolon. Capital B. But
But.
speaking of, hey Evan Butthead, where's those 2d10 at?
Oh, I actually roll 2d10. Okay.
Yeah!
Yeah.
When the DM tells you to roll, you don't ask why. You just roll. Nice. You take
Yeah,
12 points of shame.
Okay.
You have
Shame
12
is
shame
overwhelming.
points now.
Your brews mean nothing to me. I've seen what makes you cheer.
Ah,
Anyway, shall we continue from this shithead? So, Schoenhoff is going off about his amulet is important to him.
No, I'm not. I just mentioned that's how I did the lightning.
Oh, okay. Well, he says that the amulet helped him do the lightning.
Really?
Well, that could have been a major factor in it.
I mean, I assume you can do that, Lo. Just shoot a lightning bolt. Not very difficult.
Dude changed faster than Rifter's did when you healed him and when he shot that lightning bolt. It went from hostilities and tension to celebrating him as a hero.
Yeah, literally. Oh wait, no, Dyer doesn't know that. Redcon.
I,
You
I,
metagaming bastard.
I just say
I'm not worshiping you.
I don't want your worship.
Neither am I.
I know I'm pointing over to Lo and I said no him.
You know, for the eye thing.
Oh, that thing.
He looks at you and says, "You're a little too," and he just kind of squishes his hands a little bit. Solid to be something that deserves my praise anyway.
Hmm.
Or sorry, that deserves to praise me anyway.
Has he seen Sloric yet? Also, he hasn't.
Oh my
Yes.
dear.
And I look around. I look around at the space. I say, how do you fit your ego in this tiny space? It's just so big. I roll my eyes.
What is happening?
He looks at you with a little bit of a coy eye. Since you're apparently not good at picking it up, that was a compliment.
Wait. And
And then he
think
moves
about
on.
it.
Anyway, yes. I don't understand
Uh,
why things can't just speak common. It makes everything so much easier.
Well, they were born in the middle of a mountain, and they worship a big crystal that zaps them. I feel like cultural differences abound.
Okay. And
It's just how it is. If you go over every second week and shoot their lightning thing, they probably won't be happy. You say you want to hear ideas. That's just my idea.
he just kind of rolls his hand a little bit. Yeah. If I'm aware of it, I'm sure they won't be able to get the drop on me anyway. If
Mhm.
I head out. Why are you guys here again anyway?
Dungeon brought us back.
Hmm.
Right, because of course it would.
Strange turn of circumstances.
It's possible that the dungeon brought us back because it sensed conflict after you had been taken.
Well, if that's the case, thank you for being my rescue party.
I got you.
If you don't mind staying for a little bit, I can try to summon a couple more slimes. We can start getting the feast back up and running. If you
Those
I say, oh, about that, and I have just turn around and look at us, Lord.
Oh yeah. Derek gets excited too. He moves, makes way,
We're making way for Slork.
make way for the big boy.
Slork looks up and he actually stands out of his chair and kind of slightly moves over and kneels down in front of him and he says, "Very good form." And Slork kind of shakes a little bit at that. I see you clearly made him in his image.
That was the idea.
We
Yeah,
missed
he
it.
was gone.
A little lacking in function, but absolutely beautiful nonetheless.
Oh, I assure you, he does not lack in function in battle.
Did he kill a troll?
He looks at you and smiles and says, "You have no idea." Anyway,
Sloric, by
do
the way.
you mind if I head up? I need to regain some supplies because Dyer and I haven't really left these chairs. He helped tend to me once we got back, and I've been far too busy to start getting things back to running order since, almost dying and all that, but you're more than
Darius
welcome
sort
to
of
peruse the area while I do that.
Darius sort of
Of
raises
course,
his hand
take
and
your
says
time.
Darius sort of raises his hand a little bit and says, you wouldn't happen to have any fire slimes or something I could use to Bask, I'm not warm-blooded like you folk.
He kind of twists his hand a little bit, and there's a small glyph that comes up. Yep, we still have one. I'll send him right up.
Thank you.
And he begins to make his way over here as he quickly ascends the ladder to the floor above. You are now on your own.
Head to the basement.
Head to the basement.
Yeah.
Lork glares at Dyer,
Lord,
and
lead
then
the way.
Darius in turn.
Was that said out loud?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of just look at Dyer and I say, actually, I would rather talk to you about something than have you kill yourself again.
Ooh, okay.
My
Yeah,
bad.
yeah,
My
sounds
bad.
good.
Almost kill yourself.
At this point,
Yes.
the black slime that had been with you guys to discuss with Slork moves over and looks at Darius.
Darius starts taking off the half plate and takes off his extremely damp freaking outer clothes from the snow and sets them near the slime and is just laying down on the ground with his shirt off.
It walks forward and begins to eat some of your clothes.
God damn it.
I look at
Do you do
Darius's-
anything in the
Yeah.
immediately after that, or do you just kind of let it happen?
He sort of pulls his shirt away from it a little bit, but then gives up on any of his outer more not necessary clothing pieces. He's sort of
Alright, while you all are dealing with this, I suppose I should see if I can handle the matter of... I don't know, does anyone need to eat?
I'm
I
kinda
have
hungry.
rations.
I could go for something.
I ate yesterday, I'm fine.
What?
Snake joke.
Ah.
At this point, the black slime is kind of bubbling up inside, and there's bright little pockets of red-orange inside it.
Darius is going to return body to temperature.
Dyer, if you could ask Lo if I could make use of some of the supplies downstairs to at least begin some food for all of us.
Maybe-
The
I'm pretty
slime
sure-
spits out your clothes onto your person. They are slightly, very slightly oopy and oozy, much less than Stork is. More so, it would be almost like a grainy powder type of ooze.
Mm-hmm.
And they are exceptionally warm.
Oh, he puts them back on immediately.
It's fresh out of the dryer.
As you take a sniff of it, it's a very bitter smell. It's almost like burnt coal. Like a charcoal
Strunhoff.
powder on it.
DM, question.
Yes.
When Mr. Magic Man healed me, did he heal my stack of exhaustion, or am I still exhausted?
The wound is no longer existent.
Okay, so it's just the wound, not the actual exhaustion.
Well, the exhaustion is tied to the wound.
Oh, okay, cool. So I'm not exhausted. All right, cool.
Yeah. Yeah,
What?
seems about right.
Am I missing something?
Yeah.
I do not think.
Look
This
at
is not.
memes.
This was not my intention.
Oh, memes. All right, let's see it. You get your mic out of the chat.
What a wonderful day for what a
That's
wonderful
pretty
meme for
good.
this 5th of February.
Pretty good.
I thought it would fly under the radar.
Lorik
So
is going
anyways.
to attempt to put at least something resembling a midday meal together for his team.
Also, Dyer asks Strunhoff like what it is that he wanted to talk about.
Oh, right. So, So when you got teleported out of there with Lo, we didn't really have a way to talk to them after the whole saving them and everything.
Yeah, makes sense.
And was just wondering if maybe you could come back with me and maybe Lo to explain the situation once we're ready to leave.
I'm down. It depends on if Lo wants to go there and say hi to his captors again.
Right.
Did
Even if
anybody
he-
else carry anyone or anything other than frickin' Schoenhoff?
I don't think so. Darius does still have that dire
Yeah,
thing,
he took
so-
the lance, but I think that's it, right? Just carrying the Thunder Lance and the Thunder Man.
Yep.
I follow the rest of my party wherever they might go.
I'm just chilling talking
If
to
you
Darius,
recall,
so-
Lorik, he said he was getting prepared to, like, cook up food.
Oh, that is fair. Actually, now that I remember that, I decide not to be an impolite guest and return to the rest of the party as shenanigans presumably ensue.
So yeah, let's ask Lo and see if he wants to go back up there. But he might ask us to stay the night or something like that. I doubt he'll do it now.
Oh yeah, no, I wanted to go before we left, not now.
Yeah. Well, that's my guess. Usually we never stay in the floor. I don't remember when was the last time we did that.
Well, you might
Well,
not. Darius definitely does.
Well, most floors aren't very hospitable.
Or, sorry, not Darius. Doppler definitely does.
Did he?
He literally went to sleep in the floor of order.
Yeah, but he was dragged out
Up,
by his,
pulling us
by
off
his,
to
by
practice.
his beautiful teammates.
Well, there's one other floor that you guys stayed in.
Yeah, Lorik has this thought. At this point, the big red wax candle worm slime that you guys saw previously, or at least Dyer saw previously, I think he's the only person to have seen it, slithers its way down from the top stairs and just runs up and begins circling Slorik.
That thing is terrifying. Very impressive.
And it kind of wraps around Slorik's base and squeezes on him.
Oh, they're gonna merge. Anyways, yeah, let's guys.
Schoenhoff, should we be concerned?
I kind of just shrug.
Probably not.
While he waits, Laura kind of pulls the key card out and just absently checks it.
At this point, as opposed to previously, the 8th floor actually does end up revealing itself and carving it itself in.
Epic.
Curious.
Ta-da!
Nice.
The 8th
Nice.
floor exists.
Turns out Lo wasn't as special as we thought. No, I'm just kidding.
Don't jinx it.
All right. Well, if we so desire, we could leave right now, even.
I don't believe Lo would appreciate us hastily leaving.
Yeah, and
Agreed,
Schoenhoff
but the
wants to
option
stay.
remains.
Besides, I still have some unfinished business with our newly allied. No, ally's probably not the right word.
Friendly.
Friendly, yes, giants.
I'm down to just wait it out.
And I'm hungry.
You guys
you want
won't
to go-
have to come. Yeah.
More and
going to
more
take
slimes
no
begin making their way down the upper ladder before moving past you. Some of them, like, stopping by Stork for a little bit before moving on, some of which just move straight to the other ladder to move down to the bottom floor.
So
Dire
besides
is
this,
the only one I require to talk to them anyways.
yeah.
Lork kind of shakes his head and slowly sinks into the green chair, which is probably a little bit too small for him.
But isn't that Low's chair? Isn't Low like 17 foot?
I thought Lo was like normal human size.
Oh,
Though
was
is
it?
in fact normal human size. He's
I don't
probably
think
like
he would.
5'10", 5'11".
I don't think
Oh.
he would have been captured in being if he was 17 foot tall.
Yeah, I agree. 17 feet tall humans are hot take, probably an anomaly.
Hmm.
I don't
I
know
don't
if I
know.
believe you, man.
I'm a tiefling. I don't know.
Are you though?
Yeah. Wait. Who's
Human,
in this
I
voice
don't know,
chat?
man. I'm just a tiefling. And it's just a man, but huge.
Well, as far as I'm aware, there's only the 6 of us in this voice chat.
Oh yeah, actually, Strunhoff, I did want to ask him why they were angry about blue skins. I mean, I felt kind of attacked, but that did not come up later.
I kind of just look at him surprised. Did they actually say that?
Yeah, they said, "Oh, here comes the blue skin," and then they saw Lorik, and then they were like, "Oh, that's even bigger and even bluer."
I kind of just shake my head.
We'll ask him when we get there.
Hmm.
So do we take a short rest? What is happening?
That seems prudent.
Yeah, let's do that.
If
You
nobody has objections,
you take your rest, and over the period of time, eventually of the short rest, he comes back down to meet you and leads you down to the bottom floor where there is now various slimes procuring a um, a dinner of sorts, particularly the gunpowder charcoal fire slimes, tending to much of the cooking of different meats.
and when the short rest finishes, I am going to spend my channel divinity on Harness Divine Power to get a 2nd level slot back.
You know what? I'll do it just because I don't want to say that no fight's gonna ever happen.
I look to eat meat if there is meat.
There
If
is
not-
meat being cooked, and once it is done being cooked, you eat it.
Okay, if any of it is ham or pig related, I will eat it.
It's meat.
You don't eat cow?
No, he just likes pig in particular.
Mm-hmm. It's
Though he does-
Soylent. It's Soylent Blue.
Though he's not a particular fan of cow. As he's munching on whatever meat this is, be it ham, bird, or human. As I'm munching, I'm like, I'm kind of averse to eating cow. I once ran with a minotaur. And then I swallow. Just didn't sit right with me.
That does sound wrong, actually.
Don't you eat chicken, Rifter?
Yes. I blink.
At that statement, Lorik does kind of tilt his head and lean a bit toward Rifter.
I look at you both weird. And I was like, I'm like, it's a fucking chicken.
Remember,
a
guys,
cow.
simple-minded.
I'm like,
Oh, God.
I look at you all, and I'm like, I look at especially Lork. I'm like, I expected better of you, mate. Not all birds are the same.
Hmm.
And
Would you eat a
minotaurs
crow?
and cows
That's
aren't
my
the same
question.
either. We're not
What?
saying that you shouldn't eat chicken. We're saying that it's weird that you eat chicken but don't eat beef.
No, no, no. You got me. Well, and then I say, have you ever met a chicken man?
He points straight ahead at you.
And
Okay.
I throw a dagger at you.
Okay, roll to hit.
I intentionally miss.
No, no,
I
no.
throw
Roll
it-
to hit.
Okay, okay. All right.
Fucking-
Dagger returning.
You successfully
Oh, no!
you successfully
no.
miss.
Okay, yeah, that's true. That's true. He said
I throw
miss.
it like like directly at you, like landing on the tip of the tip of the edge. And I say, like as I throw it, I say, "Don't fuck that up again." And then I return it
Oh,
back into my hand.
That's Lowe's table. He begins just like.
Come on, Rifter.
He just sighs, puts his hand on the table, and the crack mends.
I say, he's a smart mage. He knows mending.
I kind of just look around.
He looks at Schoonhoff with very dull, like, I'm dead inside eyes.
That's not why I'm looking around. But
Well, he does that. He's doing that for his own reason.
nobody needs to know
Because
that I'm
he's
a
dead
mage who doesn't
inside?
know mending.
He looks at Rifter. One of these days, abusing people's generosity will get you hurt.
I look at him with my red bloodshot Kinku eyes, and I say, "But Mister, I love you." In a child's voice.
Rifter, you've only just met him. Take him out to dinner first, at least.
I'm sure
so
you
What
do,
you're
lad.
doing right now.
Yeah, I literally say, "What do you think we're doing right now?"
Darius sort of touches his chest a little bit. You never took me out for dinner.
You're not pretty enough.
Oh.
Oh, and what do all those meals at home count as?
I kind of just put both of my hands on my forehead and say, I can only joke so far with these people.
Careful what you say, Strunhoff. I'll kiss you.
And I look at Darius and I say, careful what you do, Darius. I'll shock you.
Electrostimulation.
Kenke.
I would like the
Lorik
party. I would like to formally request that the party move on.
Lorik is going to kind of shamefully place his head down onto the table.
The floor
no,
motions to move on. The motion succeeds.
I would like to just say on the previous topic, Rifter does explain. Well, you see, like, there aren't any races that I'm aware of that resemble a chicken. Minotaur, cow, kind of one-to-one.
No,
Good
but
to know.
Minotaurs aren't they?
They're like bulls, I guess. I think.
Buffaloes are different, maybe.
I don't know. Good question.
Hey,
But
Logan,
regardless, we
moved.
moved on. I'm sorry.
No,
I
no, no.
wanted
You
to
can
clarify
keep
that.
doing that
Oh,
conversation.
okay. And yeah, Dyer asked me if I would eat a crow. I say I look down at myself. I like kind of touch myself a little, like my face. You get your mind out of the gutter. And I'm like, well, I mean, Rift is technically a raven, isn't it?
Ah, free game then.
I guess I wouldn't feel good about it.
I still don't understand that, because although we resemble those creatures, that doesn't mean that we are related to them. For example, as a Yuan Ti, just because I am snake-like doesn't mean I am literally a snake. It's not. I have no relations to actual snakes, but a snake-like deity.
Agreed. Much like my people and dragons.
He says immediately after having unhinged his jaw to consume some of the meat.
I look over and say, haven't you talked to snakes before?
Well, yes, but that's a gift from the. I'd eat a snake.
And I just keep eating.
Rifter just kind of points out, yeah, but don't they eat each other?
Aye, that's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah. Snakes eat snakes, right?
Seen it before.
And I've heard at least of chickens eating other chickens. Never seen it myself.
Tonight on
And
our Hectorum, the psychotheological debates of cannibalism in different races.
Yeah, and Rifter points out, but it's less to do with more. It's less to do with a kinship and more to do with respect. I wouldn't eat a dog, right?
You wouldn't eat a dog.
No.
I mean,
What-
I guess I
what's-
wouldn't. There's a...
Well, what? Darius looks over Dyer. I thought that she would be on my side. What's
No, but it's like, yeah,
What's
but
in-
now when I eat the dog, I would just think of that one dog in the tavern.
Exactly.
I mean, they
intrinsically
do
different
taste pretty
about-
good though.
Like life
If
or
I had a
death.
pet chicken, would you swear off eating chicken?
Well, I guess not really. Okay, but dog's back on the menu then. He
I
sits
look
back
over
happy.
at you like, look. The way I see it is life or death. Yes, I'm gonna cave. Same way I would with a human, but I'm not going to go out of my way to do it. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Though
Would you eat a
reaches
dragon,
over
though?
and punches Dyer in the shoulder.
Ow. What? Wait, what? What did I say?
What haven't you said?
True,
True.
but I still need to know.
That is a fair point.
The last thing you said was, looks like dog is back on the menu, or something of the sort.
I just
Oh
so
yeah.
I don't understand your disgust with not wanting to eat dog. What's intrinsically different from a dog from another animal?
Oh well, it's very simple. I like dogs. The meal would just get sad because I would be reminded of my good memories. And same akin to eating that other thing. I would just be sad because I'd be remembering my mates.
Hmm. Well, these are all fair points, but I suppose this is ultimately a discussion that's going nowhere.
I mean, didn't August eat a lizard folk?
I did too.
What hasn't he eaten?
August is special.
What does it? Do you think that's why he's powerful? I keep believing that his shield becomes harder every time he eats a person.
Maybe.
Also,
He-
Lorik, would you eat a dragon?
Doubtful. I think they're somewhat disgusting.
Oh, so because they taste bad, not because you respect them or anything like that.
How would he respect
No,
them?
I have no idea how they taste. I just think they're disgusting creatures.
Oh, good. That was my question.
I wonder what they taste like.
Hmm.
I mean,
Chicken. Everything
if you
tastes like
given-
chicken.
Until proven otherwise.
Until proven
Exactly.
otherwise. What a,
philosophy.
Hmm.
I guess it's,
What's
is
that?
it a little bit like asking if you'd eat a skunk? Or is it not that bad?
Oh, that's a good question.
Rifter
I don't-
ponders this.
I don't know about your earlier question, Dyer, about whether eating someone makes him stronger, because it didn't the last time I did.
Mm.
You mentioned that
Well,
lizard folk thing. What in the hell were you all doing while I was away anyway?
eating people.
Eating the Archmage of Chibalo, no biggie.
Stabby.
He, though, just shakes his head. Of all the company this elevator of yours could have given me. And then he
I
just
mean,
chuckles.
wait, not really.
Ah.
Do I
Just a-
want to
just
know
a
the entire
nibble.
story there?
That's the
Tried-
story.
He tried to kill us. We almost killed him. He escaped into August's arms. August took a bite. I was curious.
Yeah, remember August? One of the people that you really got along last time,
Mhm.
Lo?
He does, and with that, he stands up and says, well, I hope that you are all more than willing to enjoy the rest of the dinner. I'm losing my appetite. I hope that you will stay the evening if you need it. They can assemble some beds for you. As with last time, and he looks at Dyer, stay out of the basement, and
Got it.
I
Wait,
am going to go to sleep.
no, wait, before you teleport. Strunhoff,
Yes.
you wanted to ask him something?
Oh right. Would you you mind coming with us tomorrow to talk to the giants before we leave?
I see no reason why not to. May I leave?
Yes. Have a good night's sleep.
With
Alright.
that, he disappears as he kind of he's basically already falling back into his bed as he just leans back with his hands and puts his like hands behind his head and he poofs into a small bit
So
of
convenient.
smoke and you hear a thud above you.
So I still haven't gotten the entire story. I've only gotten a few bits here. What in the hell's happened in that Chibalo place?
Hey, the guy.
Long story. Don't feel like explaining it.
We have
Yeah,
all the
that's
time in the world right now.
So basically, I was there, right? And we were surrounded. And so I bravely and justly fought them all off with my sword. And then he helped, and I point to Dyer. And then he helped, and I point to Darius. And then he helped, and I point to Strunov. But he, and I touch Sloric and I pat him, helped the most.
Wasn't he created
I-
there?
Yes.
I point to Dyer and say, he is the one who got captured for a while.
Yeah. I did that. I don't know, just felt like it.
For a little bit more understanding and context, we went to Chibalo looking for the Golem Heart, as you know.
Mhm.
We found a certain character that we've spoken about, Ract. He turned
I've
out
heard
to
you mention him
be
a
a
few
member
times.
of the royal family. You're following, correct?
Yes.
Dyer and Aquila were invited into the royal palace at the discretion of Ract's younger sister. Older sister? Younger sister? Which one was it? I couldn't
No
tell.
idea. No idea.
Wow,
Regardless.
very smooth transition.
Regardless, it's unimportant. They went to the castle, and Aquila came back, and Dyer did not. And we entered the castle looking for him. The Ract fellow, he seemed to not remember anything of the sort after dinner. We discovered that the queen and the archmage, and I don't remember who else was implicit, were doing something that required the golem heart, and they were doing it behind his back, and he apparently had discovered it many times before, but had his memory wiped. We discovered down there a good pal Dyer stuck in a tube.
Yeah.
It's true. I was caught trespassing. I say in Dyer's voice.
Yeah, it's true. I was in the tube.
And we made our way down. We let him out of the tube, and we explored around, and upon reaching one of the last corridors, we found the queen with a rather interesting set of injuries that were inflicted by displacer beasts.
Lork
Could be
perks
could
up
be
at
anything.
that.
Could be anything. Could have been dogs.
It's just interesting. I just don't know why there would be displacer beasts down there.
Shaded people. Am I right?
There was
We
that giant one. Don't forget about that.
There was a big one.
But
Yeah, that's it.
she had perished, and in the next room over there was some sort of mechanical woman that had the golem heart within her, and setting her free apparently completed the condition, and she's back in town right now. You might have seen her around. It's an unfamiliar woman,
I think I may have.
blonde hair. She's been hanging around with the other female adventuring group.
How is
Right,
the
her.
Oi, how is the mechanical woman doing?
I'm sure I haven't spoken to her. We might
She's-
check in with
Check up
them
on her.
once we get back up to the surface, aye?
We
Oh,
should, yeah.
Oh no, I'm out of water. Hold on, I'll be back.
not aqua.
Yo, DM is gone, draw dicks.
You
Oh.
better not, mister. I'm
Alright,
making
draw
piss.
all. I'm gonna do it all.
So you say that this fellow had his memory altered. Do we know how exactly?
Tubes. There's this.
Hmm.
Yeah, a lot of loose ends on that Chihuahua trip.
Well, I hope you all didn't ruin
I've
things too
returned with the
badly.
necessary crafting materials.
Nice.
Nice, very well
Yeah.
done. You know what? That's a good subversion of expectations.
Thank you, thank you.
Oh, you know what?
Ri-
It's Rifters. Alright, fuck it.
Yeah, Rifter's just doodling that. I
Oh,
without
damn
showing
it.
without showing anybody, I just say, "Dick."
Lorik rolls his eyes and lightly shakes his head.
It has been added to the art page.
My masterpiece. And then I look over to Lorik and I just say, yeah, I wish I could personally, I wish I could explain in further detail, but I don't have the words.
I understand. Hmm. Well, hopefully things haven't been going too poorly over there.
Oh, they went extremely poorly. We killed everybody.
God damn it.
Yeah. No,
Well
but when
said.
Darius says that, he's not smiling. He's like, you know, a little sad.
We did what we needed to, Dyer. There wasn't anything that we could have done to change that.
I'll be right back. I have to
Yeah.
click on something.
Nothing at all.
DM, you're dropping hints.
I'm doing no such thing. I'm confirming the player statements.
Uh-huh.
You see, here's the thing. You think that when I have these little outer character outspurts that there's some sense, some reason, some order to it all.
Y'all hear something?
But sometimes, like,
nothing at all.
I hear low.
sometimes to keep the
speaking.
players going, you gotta
Low went to
introduce a
sleep.
little randomness.
A little
This is why I
rough.
hate society.
We really do live in a
We
society.
live in a society.
Slightly
so much.
napping.
Rifter.
Damn, Rifter
I
really
wanted to
didn't care
inform
about
you.
his homie being put into a test tube.
No. I must regret to inform you that we live in a society.
We live in
Damn.
a society. Fuck.
Alright. Well, perhaps we should...
Wish I had to bed.
Agreed.
Oh, hey, look, extra slime. So where do we sleep?
That is...
Now this is just
Good
up to
question.
seeing if you remembered his instructions.
Rifter
believe-
jumps on the
that's-
table and begins to sleep.
Don't
Well,
I
Rif-
believe that the
Lorik
slime could kill
drags
us
Rifter off the
bed.
table.
So Rifter begins to slide onto the table, somewhat pushing a little bit of the food out of the way as he does so, at which point Lorik grabs onto him and starts pulling him off the table, which definitely spills some of the food onto the ground.
When Laura
Can I
grabs
attempt
onto
to
me-
jump and try to catch all the
Yes,
shit
you may.
falling off the table?
Make me a. Let's go sleight of hand. I'll give you the bonus. Yep.
Yo. So
As
big.
Lorik rips Rifter off the table, Dyer dives down to the chairs and just like like one of those freaking disc stacking games from 2004. He grabs one plate and moves that plate underneath all of the other plates as they fall, catching them
Hey, don't
all.
waste food, man. Puts it back
I
on the
look over
table.
at Dyer while he's doing this. I just say, brother, help me!
He's I got my hands full, and he just has his 2 towers of plates.
I switch over to Darius. Father, help me!
Darius just gets up, walks over like 5 feet away, and then lays down on the floor.
I finally switch over to Sternhoff. Grandpa, help me!
Can I walk over to him to help him?
Well, that all depends on what your definition of help him is.
Can I walk over to him?
Of course, he's right there. He's right next to you.
Can I?
Yeah, Lorik is dragging him off the table.
Hold on. Can I grab him?
Of course,
Would that be contesting my
what?
athletics?
it will be if he, depending on what he does.
I grab him and I shocking grasp him.
Hold on, are you grabbing Lork or Rifter?
Rifter.
Looks like Kentucky Fried Chicken's back on the menu, boys.
Alright.
Alright.
Head perks up as he snips a little bit.
Holy
That
shit.
smells good.
Okay. So, first of all, roll damage. Second of all, Lorik, I would like you to give me your athletics check, and Rifter, I would like you to give me your athletics check with disadvantage.
Actually, scratch it. I'm not gonna grab him. I'm going to shocking slap him.
Nice.
You're slapping Rifter?
Well,
And
Rifter,
I go in a firm but hushed voice. Lo is trying to sleep. You need to be quiet. It is bedtime now.
It is sad that I rolled a
You can
2
get some
on the
phrasing.
die.
And then I return to my normal
okay,
voice.
you're fine.
Then I return to my normal voice and says Grandpa.
I'm assuming this is just a catastrophe, and I fucking fall flat on my ass.
Basically.
Yeah.
You
so-
like grab onto the table, it doesn't have anywhere for you to grab. You grab onto the chair gets knocked over as it falls, you kind of clunk your face on the seat of the chair as it flips. It's
And he
just,
gets the
it's
eye
just
scar
a
back.
disaster. Yeah, and you have an eye scar again, and this time you have no one to blame but yourself, unless you blame Mark, in which case...
That's beautiful. All right. Dyer helps put away the plates and then gets back to the group.
One of the slimes reaches out as you do so and like takes it from you
Give.
and begins
Nice.
dissolving parts of the plate.
Gotcha. Here you go. Have friend slime.
So, when he gets Rifter off the table, Lorik is just going to kind of stand him up and dust him off.
So
let's
Dyer.
go get some.
Rifter doesn't say
Yeah.
anything out of character or uncharacteristically. Rifter is just very calm and very quiet.
You see as one of the slimes takes a knife, brings it over to a section of the wall, and like takes your little paper drawing and shoots like and pins the paper to the wall with a knife.
The slime going. Okay. Awesome.
I catch this on my way to the ladder, and I mutter to myself, "Interesting behavior." As I start to climb
If
up the
Lori
ladder.
could spit knives, I say, "Hey Rifter, you okay?" He looks at the silent Rifter.
I look at you very calmly, and I just repeat in Sternhoff's voice, says Grandpa.
Okay. Actually, I was just afraid, you entered professional mode for a second. He pats you on the shoulder.
The old man better sleep swiftly.
Don't kill the man. He's
Hold on,
old,
wait,
times.
Sorry, no, go ahead.
He's lived a long life.
Yeah, but he's about to die on his own. Let him be.
I think he needs some help.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't.
How loud is he speaking?
No, we're doing thief scan. We're beaning.
There are 3 floors between here and there, and they are stone, and they have shit on them.
Can I not hear the reverberations considering it's stone?
Well, are you only on... If you're on the second floor, then yes, you can.
Okay, I probably had only just made it to the second floor since I was remarking at how the slime spit a knife into the
Yes.
wall.
Yeah, no,
I'm saying,
I
like,
ran to Rifter.
If you're on the second floor, then you can hear it.
Yeah, no, but Dyer's like, don't, we've been through thick and thin. This one time he saved your ass by doing,
I look
zap.
at you and I say, "Oh, calm down, hush. I'm not that serious." No, I just mean that if he ever needs my help, ever at any point, I will stab him in the fucking back.
That's fair. I think that's very kind of you. All right, let's go. Let's go.
And as we're walking, I say out loud, and in my loudest voice, because I realize suddenly everyone thinks I'm gonna pull an Ardriel every time I'm upset. I say, an alchemist once told me that the key to life is equivalent exchange for all actions and
Wait a minute.
equivalent reaction.
Oh, can you tiny stab him?
Weeb.
Yeah, I basically nod. Yeah, equivalent to what he did to me.
Okay, that's fair. What did he do to you? He kind of touched you weird. I don't know. I wasn't looking.
And I make a zapping sound.
Oh, I mean, he pulls out a zap stick.
I nod my head.
Okay, you know what?
Were you trying to charge me like a fucking Duracell?
Yes.
Wasn't that one of your fetishes, Golden Auto character?
What?
Nothing. Ignore
Okay,
that.
we are not discussing this.
Retcon,
Okay,
retcon.
But I
Out
do
of
go to
character
bed.
retcon.
I do go to bed.
Okay,
I do go to
so
bed.
Yeah. No,
Hawkray,
Zapstick
not
is on
Dyer,
my
not
hat.
Dyer, but Hawkray. You need to roll
Uh-huh.
me some shame points.
Okay,
But
that's
here's
a
the
fair
thing:
point.
you're the only person allowed to determine the amount, and it will
Okay.
reflect on your character how much, if you're like rolling 1d1 or if you're rolling 295.
Okay.
69.
I'll take the I'll let fate decide.
69.
Oh!
What the
Holy shit!
Fate has spoken!
He is a man of pure fucking will. Oh, hold on. What's the line? Commitment. Fuck. What's the John Wick line? Why am I?
Sheer fucking.
Oh,
I
I know.
forget, but I know what you're referencing.
Yeah, I know the
Yeah.
sheer fucking will part. What's the other two lines before it? He's like a man of
John Wick
blank,
is a man
blank, and
made
sheer
of
fucking will.
commitment.
And a focus, commitment, and sheer fucking
Yeah, that's
will.
it.
That-
Focus. That's the one I was forgetting.
Yeah.
All right, fate has spoken. I
Yeah.
get to sleep, I guess.
Dyer, Hawkray, you have no shame points. You have no shame.
Hell yeah. I think that's a compliment.
Can somebody get Darius off the floor and lead him to a proper bed?
Darius
No,
is
but he's
asleep on the floor.
I ain't touching him.
I'll screw it. Keep laser bedroll here. You know, we gotta all be like need to have somebody on each floor.
Once Dyer rolls up his bedroll, Rift suddenly realizes it's a sleepover and sleeps over by Dyer.
Yes.
I don't know if I want to click on that.
It's fine.
Me neither.
It's fine.
Is it TOS?
No,
Let's
it's not.
find out.
It's
Okay,
fine.
no, it's not. Yeah, it's not. It's fine. That's
It's
a good.
It's a filthy meme.
Oh, it's fine.
It's not TOS.
No, it's not. It's not Monk.
It doesn't
TOS.
break TOS.
But
Okay, but why?
No,
What?
no.
I don't get it. Hold on.
He rolled a 1 in a 1d100.
Ah, I see.
That's why.
how quick.
Okay, but why is it the ancestor?
Do you not get
Because
it?
he has a quote that he says that at one point.
When you get a
Oh,
crit,
the
he-
tide. How quickly the tide turns.
Yes,
I get it.
yes.
Yes. Oh, I thought you
Wow.
already got that.
No,
And this guy's a Darkest Dungeon gamer.
look, man. My main commitment was just to getting Reynald and Dismas to the end without fucking eating dirt.
Understandable.
That's hard.
But you see, because I'm a real gamer who doesn't play mobile games, it was easy.
Why you got turn? Why you gotta call me out like that?
What? Are you gonna go
You're
play
not
some more
playing
gay
Bench
shit
and
in
Bean
ass?
I could not hear either of you because you both talked at the exact same time.
Yeah,
Maybe
but
I
I'm
can
the
move
important
on
one,
with,
so you should
the
have listened to
D&D
me.
part.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go.
Yeah, commit long rest.
Yeah,
Commit
long rest. Stuff
You
back.
take long rest. When you head back down to the downstairs section, you see a somewhat cute scene because Dyer, Rifter, and everybody else took their sleep in the library room upstairs. And as you wake up and come back down, you see Darius somewhat, I wouldn't quite say cuddling, but he's got his arm around one of the fire slimes who is keeping him warm.
Aw. That's
Am I
pretty
also
important.
down
Yes.
here? Are all of us
No, you
but
could-
him awake down here?
Any of you who choose can wake up before him.
Yeah, Lorx is gonna wake up pretty early because, you know, that's his entire thing.
Same, since I'm old.
Yeah, Lorx doesn't have that excuse to fall back on.
Yeah, no, I mean, eventually, as you know, people begin walking down, you hear footsteps and stuff. Dyer does wake up. He wakes Rifter up, sees Darius, but he does wake Darius up.
I
You made a new friend.
Oh,
I glance
Oh.
over at him and look at Dyer and I say, we ought to get him one of those.
We really do.
very comfortable. It's also nice not having to cast a spell and maintain my focus every time I want to not die from the cold.
We should actually do that. He looks at Strunhov. Do you still have I assume it's a ruby. We can ask Lo, he probably knows.
Hmm.
Well, we know he knows.
I feel like
You think
he's
you
done
could make it
enough
in the
for us
image of a
already.
snake?
Yeah, no, but
I just look
we
at him
do it.
dumbfounded.
we can make a snake slime.
Would you repeat yourself, Golden?
I just look at Darius kind of dumbfounded.
Now Dyer's determined to convince Strunhov to make a snake ooze black charcoal slime. But oh yeah, did you guys see Lo coming down?
You just woke me up. Why are
No,
you
I
asking?
was asking Strunhov
I don't believe I have, no.
because
Nor
are we
I.
supposed to visit the trolls before we leave?
Right, yes. You probably should.
Yeah, let's do that.
As
I
you
wouldn't
go
wanna
check
wake
up
him.
on him, he is wide asleep, and understandably so.
I wouldn't want to wake him up yet.
We can always go alone and let him, you know, not have to meet those people.
Well, if he's gonna be supplying them with lightning, it would be best if
Oh
he
yeah,
go
he
on
needs a
there.
translator. You're right, absolutely right. So are we supposed to hang out here until he wakes up?
That makes sense, I
Guys.
suppose.
Unless you guys have a better idea.
Uh,
That does not involve going into the basement.
You'll have a fair amount of time to kill.
Rifter goes back to sleep.
You barely check up on him, and he is like I said a minute ago, very asleep. It might be a little bit.
out of character question. If I leveled up last session, I assume now I leveled up since I took a long rest. Is that how
Sure.
video games work?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, dude, that's pretty pog.
Yeah, same.
Be
Paul, look like
level.
that.
Yo,
Yo.
huge.
Sadly, you only have 68 health.
DM, what do I have to do to get one more hit point?
Probably re-roll that and roll an 8.
No, don't do that. Don't
But I'm
please.
not
don't.
gonna get it.
Well, you very well could, but you'll never know if you don't roll. You'll never shine if you don't 9.
Alright, how about this? I'm keeping the roll I have right now,
Mhm.
regardless.
It's a
I just wanna
curiosity
see-
roll.
It's a curiosity roll.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, fate! Hey, fate has
Okay,
spoken.
you
man.
know what? You know what? I don't like curiosity rolls. That's not a curiosity roll. That's your new roll.
God damn it.
Oh,
Wait a minute.
get wrecked. Oh man, getting wrecked by the fate. Yeah, I wanted to do something about like a feat I picked up, but I feel like there's no, that doesn't make sense.
Why are you
so
picking
instead I'm
up
just gonna
feet? That's
mention
kind
it.
of
Why are
gross.
you picking up feet?
I mean, what am I?
Look at this
what
man
else am I
picking up
supposed to pick
feet.
up?
Next thing you know, he's gonna start posting the Among Us feet emote unironically.
Can
You
roll
did
a,
that.
can you roll
Yeah,
a
I
1d
did. That's the joke, dipshit.
Can you roll a 1d12 shame dice for yourself, JC?
Sure,
Who are you
as
to
it
make
should
demands
be.
of our god?
That's pretty
Well,
low.
No, no, no.
I'm not-
His pleas are warranted.
Some would call me a god, so I feel like I have a reasonable stance to make.
They're fucking lightning trolls.
Yeah, and
You're a lightning dragon.
Golden, king of the trolls.
You know what? That checked out.
Yeah.
Nay, not a king, a god.
Lightning. These lands be troll god now. After a while, he comes down. You head over. Dip. Much like Episode 1 of the Phantom Menace Star Wars shit, negotiations were short.
Oh,
what the
nice.
fuck? I wanted to talk to them personally.
Okay, what do you want to talk about?
I wanted to kind of like figure out what they were thinking, since I couldn't actually understand what they were thinking
They
since Dyer was not there.
they were very happy that you recharged the stuff, and that's why they gave you the shit in the hopes that you will continue to do so in the future, which eventually ends up translating to Low doing it in the future, with which they are slightly disappointed.
Well, damn.
But they accept it nonetheless.
I know. Darius got the spear. What else did we get?
I remember that we got a stone with horns.
Oh,
I think
the
I
scrap
also
metal.
remember.
Scrap metal.
Yeah, there's like a bucket bowl container of scrap metal. Different salvaged bits of mostly rusting like tools and elements from like different bits of the icy wastes. One thing to note is that none of the trolls themselves were using anything metal, barring their reservoir.
I do ask them where they get that when in our stay.
They found they use the word pillage, but like, and they say like pillage no fight basically.
Gotcha.
Before we leave, I tell them that I would pay visit should I find myself around again.
They give multiple hollerings.
Bunga bunga.
Unga boonga.
I like these people. But yeah.
Alright,
I feel
is
like
it time to
I
finally
feel like,
return?
yeah, we should return.
Yes.
Back.
Return from whence we
town.
came.
Things do the good, and you.
Ah yes, perhaps I should open the Roll20 town thing. That might be useful.
Could be. Hot
Perhaps.
guess. Does the party head to the elevator without incident?
We do ask Lo I asked Lo the recipe for charcoal slime. Like what kind of gemstone do we need for charcoal slime?
He looks at Schoonhoff and says it's all about intent.
So maybe anything that's like dark black. and
He
red.
he says, did you have to use a special recipe to make him look like your dragonborn friend there?
Not
Yes, sir.
exactly. We just use the, basic ingredients with sapphire and the rest.
It's a baseline recipe, and you determine how you're going to accent it for whatever purpose you want.
Figured as much.
Gorgeous.
Which, in this case, and he leans over to Slork, was making a very good boy.
Oh, good boy.
You roll another d12.
Me?
Yeah.
No. That is definitely not something that I'm ashamed of. That is something to roll a pride dice on.
Fried dice.
Slimes are children, slimes are dogs, slimes are good
Anyways,
boys.
we go to the elevator and leave.
hmm
Anyways, bye.
Anyways, I'm the DM. You're subject to my rantings of slimes. And anyway, in this TED Talk,
you
I'll be
can't leave.
discussing why slimes are the purest forms of God's creatures and why they're inherently devoid of sin.
Okay.
Did we watch Monster Musume?
What?
Okay, we are not discussing this.
What the fuck is
We are
that?
going back to town.
It's got a slime in it.
It's Golden's.
See?
I feel like
Golden's
I'm getting baited.
No,
It's
there.
Golden's hentai.
Golden-
manga.
I,
Yeah, I'm
degenerate
getting
thief.
baited. I see how it is.
I'm not lying.
Mhm.
It
Cease.
is a factual statement that that show
Yep.
has slime. Anyways,
Yeah. I'm sure it is.
So back to town, please.
Do. We are
Or
on
we
the
descend
arc page.
to even further degeneracy.
Of all the ways that could have gone, I'm disappointed it went that way.
what are you talking about?
You just had to try to invalidate
monster
my
ones.
opinion through such underhanded tactics.
What do you mean underhanded?
I mean what I said.
How is it underhanded?
You know damn
Dude,
well how it's
fla-
underhanded.
Flaunting that you've seen Monster Musume is like flaunting that you sucked your
a-
own toe.
Okay, I didn't flaunt that I saw it. I made
Okay.
But you said that you did.
In
Okay,
his defense,
we are not-
a completely
Good anime.
factual statement. Shut up, Rifter. A completely factual statement.
Okay, we are not discussing this.
I can't log into town.
I'll see you in court.
Alright, bet.
Who are you seeing in court, me or Golden?
Golden, but also you
Okay.
for not logging on.
By the way, DM,
I am logged in.
I sent you a DM. If you haven't in Discord.
Okay.
Die, monster.
Monster.
You don't belong in this world.
Wait, I don't have access to that on that page.
Hey.
Hold on.
Did you actually send him the slime?
What do you mean? Oh no, he
I
did
sent
not.
you.
I'm just going
Wow.
to
What a
press
fucking
a
coward.
button on behalf of our party members. Alright, Shunhoff, as you are leaving the elevator back
No, I don't
in
care.
town, you find yourself, rather than having the great view of the morning town out and about with the clanging of the blacksmith and the small forest to your right. Instead, you find yourself looking at some of the ants crawling on the floor as you take a face full of stone beneath you, as you have been tripped leaving the elevator.
I walk out and I go, oops, how could that have happened?
Slor catches my fall because he is, quote, a good boy.
He is, in fact, a good boy.
As Strunhoff falls, Lord doesn't even break stride and just picks him up.
You still find yourself looking at the bugs just without impact.
I say hello to Urgot and Goliath and well Giant and then
This time it's a bit of an underarm carry.
He looks over and asks Star, something wrong?
No, just had a in giant. He responds that he had a chance to polish up his giant in that floor.
Great.
Yeah, it was great. It says actually very very calming floor. He says back in common. Nothing. Well, I mean, we fought, but what else is new?
Nothing
Chad, you're crazy.
unreasonable, I hope.
No, no, no. Just
Not
regular
really.
old fighting, putting our lives on the line, but at the end of the day, coming out unscathed. The usual.
He shrugs. Safe as always.
Safe as always. I jumped down this ledge.
Hop.
Well,
Did
What do
we
you say
get
we
any
get-
loot?
well, there was this scrap metal. I was going to see if we could get that identified, see if it has any real use.
Darius
Nice.
flashes his spear.
Like the new one?
Yeah. Got
Oh,
this.
where did you get that? Wait, that's from the asshole.
Yep.
He gave you a spear?
I don't know why, but he did.
Have you tried like swinging it? Is it better than your previous one? Worse?
Darius sort of holds his chest a little bit like, I can't believe you would say something like that.
Well, that's why I said worse after.
I'm not sure yet. I don't even know anything about it. I
Okay.
was going to get it identified, if you'd like to come with.
Yeah. Let's keep going then.
It was something he threw, right?
Yeah, and
Right.
So what
And
if
it
I
hurt.
and then he turns around and hurls it at the no, I'm just kidding.
No. What do you fake throw it at?
Not me.
Just at the wall over here.
Yeah. So you turn around and you kind of fakingly throw it, and as you do, it moves on its own straight into the wall. And it ends up
Oh.
sticking as it wiggles in the
very
wall.
good shooter.
Sort of looks at it, looks back at his hand, and sort of like mimics grabbing with his hands, like trying to get it back to him.
As you squeeze, it melts and comes back.
Huh.
Curious.
That's really cool.
So as Lorik enters the identification shop, he kind of like briefly wraps his knuckles against the inside of the wall, just to let the occupant know that he's there.
He ends up stopping, looking at a particularly expensive piece of necklacery, and you have his attention. Yes. Hello again, Nork. How are you doing?
I'm well enough, I suppose, and you?
I'm good. I trust Thulcom's Cape's been handling you well.
It has been.
Well, superb, fantastic.
I can't thank him enough for that.
What can I do to
But-
help you today? I see that you're here, and I wouldn't assume you to be the kind just to come by to say hello, so how can I help?
Well, unfortunately, you are correct about that this time, but perhaps I should make it a point to make more cordial visits in the future.
You owe me nothing.
In any case, we were. Oh, thank you. We were given this medal as a gift by the inhabitants of the last floor we were on, and aren't entirely sure what sort of medal it is, so we were hoping that your insights might prove more thorough than ours.
He grabs it with a big heft as he is somewhat small, picks it up, heaves it over, dumps it onto the table with little regard for it, and over the course of about 20 seconds, just pushes it around. He looks at you and says, like I said a moment ago, you don't owe me anything. And he begins scooping it back up into the container, hands it back to you. It's junk.
Dang.
Ah. Well, I suppose it's as they say. You win some, you lose some. Thank you for your time.
Oh, wait. He squeezes by as Lorik walks in. Could you identify one of these? And he takes out one cold claw out of the 10 that he has.
Cold
Wow.
claw,
Cutting in line.
as
I see.
from the ice lizards.
Sorry. Yeah, from the ice lizards.
Hmm.
And as Darius says that, he's like, "Oh, sorry, I forgot."
It's fine.
He looks and says, I'll see what I can do.
Gotcha. And he just leaves that one with him and steps back.
See ya.
Found a rather interesting spear on the floor we were at.
He kind of faces away, and then he just 180s back to facing over. Lots of stuff, eh? Okay.
Aye.
Seeing as it's from you, I have to ask, is there a chance it's going to disappear from me?
There is a chance. I'm unsure of what the trigger is, other than I squeezed my hand when I threw it and it came back. But I'll try not to squeeze my hand, I guess.
Hmm.
Unless you'd like me to just stay in here with you while you identify it, just in case.
I'm sure you'll notice if that happens, so don't go too far, lad.
Aye.
Make it the priority.
Thank you. He sort of shortly bows a little bit and makes his way out after paying the money.
The 3 silver.
Oh, okay. Let me take that off. All right, rejoin the boys.
The boys. Huh.
To the tavern, one and the mages go. Gotcha.
Does anyone have anything particular they're looking to do, or is it just an unwind?
I would like to buy a
I'm
standard potion of healing.
You do so.
Cool. Let me check how much that is. Give me a second. It's important info, right? Or is it gamer
It's
info?
in gamer info.
Shoot.
The very
Lork is
bottom
going
of
to,
gamer info.
Lorik is
Go.
sorry, you go ahead. Okay. Lorik is going to enter the home smithy and start discussing a potential project with him that I'm going to DM Lothair the specifics of.
Okay. As you're doing that, Duchot
We should go.
ends up coming up and meeting Darius on the street. He looks at you, points at you, and says, "Give me just a minute, I'll be right back." And he runs down to his shop.
Sort of looks back and forth like,
Okay.
what?
Let's just wait outside the blacksmith.
He comes
Right.
back up, meets up with you outside the blacksmith. 2 things. First, I still haven't gotten your payment from Red Bear for the house. I trust that with your adventures you've been well off enough.
Aye, I can get move around the group and grab the payments. Yes.
I'm sure we can handle that, and seeing as it would be doing what? Is it 6 days now? Yeah, 6 days from now. No, 7.
We'll get it to you tomorrow. It's
be-
unimportant.
The days are all blending together lately anyway. Also, and he reaches into his satchel. This is for you. And he hands you a letter.
Interesting. Thank you. He takes it and sort of turns it over and looks around at it.
He turns around, gives you a gentle laugh. You know where to find me.
Of course. It's good
You
to
got
see
a
you.
pen pal?
Wish I could say the same. What was that, Dyer?
You got a pen pal?
The only person I would write to would be Jake. I'm assuming it's from him. One of my, I don't know if you know who he is. He's one of my business mates from Korheim.
Merchant stuff. Yeah. Of course, Zaire is not looking at you. He's just looking around. He's not gonna look at your letter.
He just puts it into his bag.
Does he open it at all?
He's gonna open it when he gets the chance to. He's not gonna open it in the middle of the street. Just kidding. He's gonna open it in the middle of the street because now I'm curious.
Okay, yeah. The one thing to note is that on the outside it says to Dyer, Lork, and Company.
Hmm. Never mind then. It's not from any of them.
The fuck? My name's not company.
Huh?
It's not from Jake.
Oh, who's it from?
It is to Dyer, Lork, and Company. I'm not even on.
Dyer,
My
Lork.
name isn't even on it.
Yeah, why? What kind of person would know Lorik? No, or vice versa, that would know me and only include the other person, and then the rest is company.
Lothar, I have sent the required message.
I shall read it.
You want to open it and read it right now without everybody else? He sort of like raises his eyebrows.
I kind of want to. He says, he fiddles with the letter.
He nods a little bit. Let's go for it.
Okay,
He says it
opens.
would probably be a little bit, fair bit expensive, seeing as it would be a contingency, but he's sure that he could work something out with the Archmage, try to get some mix-ups going.
I wander out of the tavern, having finished my drink and overheard the conversation.
Oh,
You
that's a
hear the
convenient
tail
timing.
end of it as Lork is leaving.
That's all I need. Thank you, and I'll try to get the funds together for that soon.
Alright, stay safe, lad.
Of course. And you too. And Lorik finally steps out of the smithy.
Hey, Laura, we got a letter. Ah, we got a letter.
Wait, was that frickin' Vic's buddy? Well, hold on, what was his name?
I did like a tiny fuck up. No, Lance. That's
Lance, yeah, that's
Oh.
his name.
Hey guys, we got a letter.
Oh. Who exactly is it for?
All of us.
Me, you, and company.
All of us.
Yeah,
Who in the hells would know specifically Dyer and I?
yeah, and then the rest is company. Right? That was my line of thinking. Well, let's open it up.
Unless...
Opens the letter out
Oh,
of
look at
curiosity
them.
instead of waiting for the house.
Mm-hmm.
So what's
You
it say?
pop it open. At the top it says, to Lork, Dyer, and Company. Again.
Hmm.
Hi from Rect and Lyra. It then goes on to detail that they are going to be traveling around a little bit. They met up a little bit and found out that each of them knew you, so they figured they would invite you collectively. Each of them are going to be heading to a small festival at Evil around the 30th of next month, and they would be enjoyed to see you there.
Oh, it's that Monster Hunter lady we found and and wrecked. They're in a festival
Wasn't
and they're
Racked on the other side of the continent?
yeah, but I mean, so are we, and we ended up there.
I suppose, but...
We had a dungeon. I don't think he does.
He's a royalty. I guess he can move around.
Us.
Curious.
I mean, it is a good chance to take another short break from the dungeon. It's only Evil, right? Isn't that to the west and then down?
This is on the 30th of next month, as you would notice.
Oh, is that what? Oh, okay.
Curious, so...
Why are you so apprehensive about it? It's good that finally we met somebody that
I know.
we can call acquaintances.
It is good to meet friend again. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering how in the hell he actually made it across the continent like this.
Well, traveling. It's been a while.
Hold on. Speaking of friends, I need to. There we go. Fantastic. It has been fixed.
But yeah. So we should probably put a dagger on the calendar page that says this.
Well, I suppose it couldn't hurt.
Brief side thing. DM, just to make sure that you don't have an official record of it, because I believe I wrote down that one of my Kenku holidays was on the 49th of this month.
Yes.
But okay, cool. So I'm not insane. All right.
Guys, it's okay.
Unrelated, maybe.
I did, in fact, ask for holidays, and I did approve that one.
Yeah. Okay. No, I just wasn't sure if I remember the day.
I remember we talked about how it was late dark sun for reasons that were specific.
Yes.
If it is to be the 49th, then it is to be the 49th.
Okay, cool. I've been treating it as the 49th, so it's the 49th.
2 Dark Sun holidays.
Yeah.
Jeez, Dark Sun, how come your GM lets you have 2 holidays?
No skins. Oh god, I want to die.
Same.
Same.
Wait.
Not them.
It's a good day to be not dead.
It's good to not be dead, yes.
You are dead.
Alright, and
Richter,
perhaps we should
What is
return
dead
to the
should
house.
stay dead.
Go ahead.
Then perhaps we should return to the house. Gather some
Yeah.
supplies, maybe.
Indeed, yes.
Yeah. Not like we need rest, but I mean, what else is there
Right.
to do?
Well, perhaps we could see if there's any new bounties.
Actually,
Yeah,
Dyer,
those always go great.
Rifter, I have a question for you.
Yes.
Where did you get your line, what is dead should stay dead?
I kind of look somberly down and I say, a friend.
But his name, I heard someone else recently say the same thing and it caught my attention.
It's not the same. He saved my life in exchange for his.
But person that spoke it, they said they learned it from someone else as well.
Who did you? I kind of look at you like with a very like bespeckled look. I'm like super like, wait, what?
Hey JC, who was it? I don't actually remember.
Then you
I
should
believe it was our
then you
other-
should perhaps describe them by look.
No, I don't remember. I just remember the specific scenario, like, but I don't actually remember when it happened or why or where. It
Those
just
are
came to
our
my mind when we said
Other
that.
merchant friends, correct?
I shall
what's his
send you the picture. There you go.
Oh yeah, never mind. This whole thing was it just came to mind and it was something that was not connected and now it is connected. Never mind.
Oh,
it
was it Ahmed?
No,
Yeah,
why
it
is
was
it retcon?
It's retcon because
Darius wouldn't be
something
that
Darius
stupid.
Yeah.
No, Darius
were
just had a
explaining
brain
they knew
fart.
each
That's
other.
fine.
No, Chad had a brain fart because Chad can't remember anything.
Okay. Does Darius
that's
have
a move.
keen minds?
called out.
Does
play
Darius
It's
D&D.
also
have
been
keen
it's
minds?
also been one day.
I play D&D to not have to deal with my real life problems,
Mm-hmm.
and my main real life problem is having a horrible memory.
Okay, and where's the problem? Where's the lie?
Leave him.
It's all good. Yeah,
It's
basically,
fun.
Yeah, that's
It's fun.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
okay,
he's
let's-
not. But he doesn't want to have fun this way. Let him.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay. Fun hater, sure. You're a fun
Yeah.
hater. You get to call the retcon. Fine. You can do everything. Fucking do it yourself. You
I mean,
get to
I-
decide
Lord,
when the
Lord,
retcons are for every fucking thing. Go for it.
Oh my god.
So yeah, Darius, what, who guy?
Who guy?
Never mind. Never mind.
If it's any consolation, I never actually came up with a proper name for this guy, so I kind of am doing
the
this on the
OG,
fly myself.
the OG phrase sayer.
Yeah.
Oh,
I didn't know he was ever gonna be relevant, so I was like, it was one of my friends.
Look at us.
I don't need a
Backstory
name for
time.
him. But I suppose I definitely should have thought of that in advance.
Let's call him John or something.
Yeah. But yeah, I just go ahead and I let Darius know. I am Oxar Nismor, Paladin, and I am here to smite evil. And I kind of do a heroic pose, and then I look somberly down again, and I just say, "He did do that."
I'm sure he would be happy to know that you still carry on his image.
And I point to Vermilion. I say, "No, him." And I point over to wait, actually, I don't know where Lorik is. Oh, Lorik went off. I point over to where Lorik, the general area of where Lorik is. I say, more like akin to him, really.
Oh, I don't mean your looks. I mean the image, the way you speak, like his lines, his personality.
Oh, and I do finger guns. I say, right. Thank you, friend.
Darius turns to Struenhoff, nods, and like sort of like in a simple mind.
I also nod back and kind of slightly elbow Dyer.
What?
You know, we still have that second tentacle to work on.
Let's go tentacle each other.
You what now?
Please don't say
Tentacle.
that. As
I will
start
not
walking
say that
away.
ever again.
Lorik hears this right as he makes it back to the party, and he sighs and turns back around.
No, come back.
Good choice.
Yeah, let's go work on that tentacle.
The two of you head up into the second floor of the Mage's Guild and you do science.
Yes, sir.
The rest of the group?
I was going to suggest to Dyer that we go check on the mechanical woman now, but it would just be weird bringing two strangers in to see her.
Yeah, that's true. Also, I don't think Dyer was much in contact with the mechanical girl.
Wasn't
I
Dyer
think the
just
ones-
being risked off to the second floor of the Mage's
Yeah,
Guild?
I think the ones that actually got to talk to her were Aquila and Struenhoff, I think, and Darius.
Mm-hmm.
I think you three were like the babysitters in that one.
Rifter saw them a little bit, and it was in Nox form, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah.
believe it was in Vermilion format. Wait, actually,
No,
no,
Vermilion
you're right.
was
It
not
was
Vermilion.
it was Nox. Vermilion didn't exist. You're right.
Yeah, Vermilion didn't exist until the Inquisitors came by, and we're like, "Hi, we're also looking for Nox," and that's when it was like, "Fuck shit, fuck shit, fuck shit."
Oh, we need a guy. We need the guy. He needs to not speak common and be vaguely European. Very specific.
Yes, Europe, my favorite part of the Peruvian Empire.
Yeah, yes.
You did say Scottish.
I did say Scottish. That's wow, he got the joke.
Yo,
Life is
Scotland
hard,
is just
man.
no. Scotland is just the island off of the northwest coast of the Savage Kingdoms.
Where the dwarves are, yeah.
Oh, did I say Scotland? I misspoke. I meant Scotland.
Yeah, I'll do it when I can.
Did I say
Oh.
Scotland? I meant Snakeland.
The dup up up up.
But yeah, Vermilion goes ahead and checks on the bounty board.
You look at the
Donkey
bounty
Board.
board,
Won't
and
find
there,
it.
you look at the bounty board, and there's a completely new bounty on there that was dated about a week ago, which is now crossed out with a blade cut that you're able to identify as a short sword.
What?
Who's the bounty for?
It is at this point mostly unreadable,
Hmm.
but it was in Soju Pem
Ooh,
Is
well,
that something people do? Do people just like cross out public bounty boards with their swords?
That is
You
not
determined that it was a
something that
short
you
sword.
see here at all. That is very much
Okay.
not a common thing that people do here.
Yeah, it's very impolite, I would say.
oh, because it's uncommon then, where the slashes, I make 2 other little slashes to make it a little smiley face.
I thought you were gonna do something more like, I don't know, cool or epic or like strange.
Nah, no reason to do that unless I'm doing something cool.
Small time.
Shouldn't we
Yeah.
report? No need to report until there's something to report.
Yeah, exactly.
Aren't you gonna do something cool? No need to do something cool unless there's something cool to do.
I saw Rifter vent.
I go over to Lorik and I notice him grumbling and I say, "You upset about something, or are you just think big?"
Oh, no, just briefly perturbed by lack of new jobs.
I nod my head.
I was hoping to avoid having to go back there immediately.
We adventure, we mercenary, we do work. Kill, yes.
Still, it would be nice to have something productive to do outside of heading back wherever that thing wants us to go.
Perhaps, or we could relax for a little bit, take some time off.
And
Oh, speaking of work, actually, you two, I should have said it when Strunhoff was here, but we have payments to make for the house for Red Bear.
Ah, how much do you need?
I'll get back to you on that.
I suppose.
I should be able to cover a fair chunk of it.
I suppose. I
Or
just say that.
pointedly
Why does that
glares
make
at
me
Rifter.
laugh?
Oh, come off it.
He holds his glare for one more second and then rolls his eyes and returns to normal Lorikness.
I write down in a little sheet of paper, and I kind of casually whistle and look in a different direction, and I show it over to Darius very casually without letting Lorik see. By the way, I'll cover his payment with an arrow to where Lorik is.
There is sort of like short, like a little, like little bobs of his head that Rifter would recognize as nods, but like out of context, it would just sort of seem like he's bobbing his head.
And then I crumple it and I go ahead and do a swish into the nearest wastebasket.
Damn, the adult supervision did not help.
Listen, nobody can chain me. I am slave to no one.
Adult supervision cannot supersede Darius's lack of vision.
How can supervision be real if our eyes aren't real?
Lorik
Joke's
is
on you, I can't see.
Lorik is the kind of parent to be like, I don't know, ask your father. And then Darius is the kind of parent to be like, dude, just do it, Lamau.
Lol, said Darius. Lamau.
Oh god.
Well, I'm going to go just check in with the woman that we rescued from Chibalo, if you'd care to join to meet her, Lorik. Vermilion, you've met her, but not in
suppose.
that form, so I'm not sure if you'd be meeting her new again.
Oh, wrong person.
I suppose.
He supposes.
Let us be off then.
Also, as we leave, I also go ahead and nab Dyer, and I say to him, beans. I'm joking. No, instead I say, by the way, and I kind of do a sword flick. You want to do some, we do touch up, yes.
Yay.
74% sure Dyer is tentacle touching with.
Actually, yeah. I should not be there. I should be like up there with Strunhoff or whatever.
Doing
Okay.
science.
Never mind. I talk to myself in what I believe is Dyer. I say, we do touch up, yes. Realize Dyer isn't here, and then slowly go insane.
Go roll
Slowly?
Listen to the voices. Listen to the voices. Listen to the voices. Listen to the voices.
Kill her
suppose.
now. Kill her now.
Push her down the stairs.
Oh,
Shit.
okay, guys.
Hey, what
Come
are
on.
you doing?
Oh,
Kill the Montague.
Come on,
Kill the
guys.
Montague. Kill the Montague.
I rub my knuckles against my eyes, blink, and I go, I need to lay off alcohol, yes. And
Cut
then
off
I
her head
go.
and bury her under a tree.
I run! I run, but the JC voice doesn't.
You cannot outrun the voice.
Darius turns around, eyes go wide. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. No.
He's just like, "You have
Rifter,
to
it's
let me
been
go."
3 months since the crash. You have to let go.
Yeah. This is all just Richter's delusion in prison.
Mhm.
know
The truth
where
is,
we're going.
Rifter was actually the one who was on that convoy headed towards our Hectorum. Lorik and Darius don't exist. They're just ways of him to, and Dyer don't exist. They're actually just ways of him to cope with the fact that he almost fucking died to random bullshit.
I just realized I'm going to the right without knowing where the heck I'm going.
Yeah, that is fair. We do kind of.
I mean, are you just heading home?
We were gonna go speak with Mechanical Woman.
I see. Well, do you know where Mechanical Woman is?
Yeah, that's my whole point. I started moving to the right inherently without knowing where she was.
Ah, I see.
I'm sure we'll see her in the tavern at some point.
Yes, I make a good first impression again.
Your second first impression.
My third.
Ooh, someday we might have to make a fourth.
Hopefully, it doesn't come to that.
That is, in fact, how numbers work.
I good math, yes, I do count.
Is Dyer actually with me yet? Because his token is still outside the blacksmith for me.
Hey there, sweetie.
Both of you make me an Arcana.
And I
You got a 6.
hold on, I gotta open the other window. I'm sorry.
Yes, you are. Do. Buh. Damn it, I'm out of water again. How could this happen? This is my fellow Americans. I ask you, I ran out of water because I drank it. How is this fair? I am now thirsty. I deserve water. Do you not agree that it is unjust to have a parched mouth and not have the water that you need? I ask you.
What
I
what tier of irony are we on?
I don't know. What tier of irony does
No
that
idea.
feel like?
I got a
Very.
24, by the way.
Ooh.
I rolled for you, by the way.
What do you mean you rolled for him?
No, I said I rolled for you.
Oh, okay. So, as is kind of expected, Schunhoff actually ends up managing to do some actual like experiments with the tentacle, trying to figure out usages for it, and actually like ends up making some progress, while Dyer just kind of sits in the corner and fiddles with lab equipment, almost catching on fire. As he as he like grabs a just random beaker that was laying there, and seeing how Schoenhoff was actually doing some like mixing of it, he himself starts mixing it and almost blows up.
Careful with that, Dyer. It's not a toy.
I'm sorry. I just
Takes
didn't know what it was, so I shook it.
I kind of just roll my eyes and kind of gesture my hand to give me a the next tool on the table.
Pass it.
You make good progress on coming up with a new design.
Very epic.
So, what are we getting out of this?
No idea. It's something.
It is in fact something. For the rest of the party, we move to the home, which I assume is where we are going, yes? Yes?
Yeah. Yes.
Boo. Yes, here we are at home. The party returns home. Strange red horny tiefling man is not there. Or sorry, the non-horny red tiefling. All the other ones are the horny red tieflings, excuse me.
Sorry, just one moment. Trying to. Actually, no, I can say this. I've been doing a lot of thinking for a while now, and well,
Yeah.
I apologize if this is out of line to ask, but for the sake of knowing where I stand, Darius, I assume you know what I'm going to ask, or at least. I suppose what I'm trying to ask is, are you fond of me in the same way that I'm fond of you?
Rifter waits in bated breath.
Doesn't look like he's muted.
There.
Darius was muted.
Oh, really? Just not on
Yeah.
Discord, damn.
Yeah, I know.
The same way I'm fond of you, Darius has seizure.
Anyways, but Darius said that you didn't hear because I muted my microphone on my headset because I was taking a piss.
He's making.
He's making piss.
It's-
Oh, Oh god, that was
good.
gold.
He said, "I've told you all time and time again, I'm fond of you each as my good friends, and I'm happy that I have true friends such as you all."
Well, I'm glad to know where I stand, so to speak.
I thought that it was apparent to all of you and that you were
Oh. That is in character, by the way.
What are you groaning at, Rifter?
Rifter's head is like on the desk, like his forehead is on the very end of it, and he's lightly bopping up and down on the table. And he just says,
Simple-minded, he says to Darius.
Darius sort of like has a very solemn smile that's like that like if you were to look at him, like he looks extremely like a almost like a widower thinking of their spouse, like a very solemn smile, and then it quickly fades off of his face into like confusion and sort of like, what are you talking about?
Oh. And then Rifter's expression turns to like empathy, but also sadness. And I just kind of let it be, and I just say, "Nice shows will have to come next time." I say in an old grandma's voice, and I go off to my area.
Darius sort of looks at Rifter while he's walking away, and he looks back at Lorik.
I'm sorry if I ambushed you with that question.
No, stop. I understand. I can't. I'm It's not something that I trust myself with yet. If it were to be anybody, it would be you, Lorik, but I don't. I can't do something like that right now.
All right.
Not after what happened. Not after.
No need to explain.
No, no, no. You understand how I panicked when we met our new neighbors,
Right.
and how I spoke of you, of being a father.
Right.
She shares my old spouse's name.
Darius, you don't have to explain.
No, I've been not speaking of anything for quite a while. I need to say something, at the very least. But it, it's. I thought that maybe not talking about it would help me forget, but it would help suppress it in my mind.
But then fate sometimes throws things like that at you.
And all it does is boil, especially with this added prodding. And
Yeah.
I'm trying a different approach. I spent almost 9 years of my life with them.
Mm. That's not exactly something easy to suppress.
When I think back on it, I would expect that I would feel something. That I don't know. I don't in the way that you look back on and he sort of pats his Darius pats his own back where his cloak would be. I
Mhm.
thought that maybe fondness, but I don't I what shakes me is that I don't feel regret for what happened to them. I feel shame that I did it. I don't under what I can't tell you what I did right now. I'm not ready for it, but
Of
that
course not.
chapter of my life ended violently and abruptly. And he sort of chuckles a little bit. I was telling myself that I would try and distance from you guys. Here I am, speaking
Hmm.
of something that I haven't told another soul.
Well, Lorik kind of starts to say something, but then realizes that he doesn't really have anything to add by saying anything, so he
Mhm.
kind of just shuts his mouth.
But a little more on track. I'm sorry to
No
rip
worries. No worries.
such a heavy topic on you suddenly. I would tell you to wait for me, but I can't do that to you. You've got much of your life ahead of you. I've got much of my life ahead of me, and I'm not sure if I will ever be able to feel in the way you do about me. I understand how you feel from a logical standpoint. I can mimic how you feel. I I'm not sure if I can give you what you're looking for right now, and you should look for someone who can. And if my teasing would my teasing makes that difficult for you, I can stop.
No, it's no problem. I mean what I said outside of Ferris, though, about considering you to be my responsibility. I do want to be there to help however I can.
Appreciate that. For now, all I can ask you is to just give me time to understand my own mind.
Of
That's the
course.
best way you can help me.
Of course. Rifter, you can stop skulking around the corner now.
Rifter kind of tenses up, walks out and say, "Hey, you got a fucking cutting pan? I was thinking about using it for a dartboard. How y'all doing?"
Rifter, if you wanted to know more about me, you could have just come sat down.
Mate, your expression told me all I needed to know.
Perhaps then you might have some nightmares tonight.
I shake my head and I just say, "They would be too busy fighting my own."
Perhaps my nightmares might be something of an escape.
I shrug and I say, "Pain is pain." Now, seriously, dude. I pull out 4 knives from my like coat and I have them all like just clumped together in my hand in like a row. Dots, but with a knife. It's fun. I promise.
I've never been very good at that sort of thing. Perhaps I should stay out of this.
Hey, practice makes perfect.
I'm worried that if I clench my fist too hard in trying to focus, that I might resummon the item that's being identified right now.
Can't help you with that one, but it's fun. That is my only counter argument.
It's simple. Just use your left hand, forehead.
But
Darius is left-handed.
It's simple.
Ooh.
Just use your
Hey!
right hand, forehead.
But yeah, Rifter goes ahead and looks around and sees for anything that wouldn't be too useful, or at least wouldn't be less useful if it had a few knife marks in it.
There's a redwood. There's a redwood wood cutting board.
Okay, I go ahead, grab that. I shift through as many things as I can to find a hammer and nail, and I go ahead and I prop it up over by my bed.
You
Like,
give it a
right
good bonk.
I go ahead and I move about, let's say 20 feet. Wait, that's not 20 feet. My brain is small. Yeah, okay, that's 15 feet. Never mind. So yeah, I'll go ahead and move back 20 feet. And I go ahead and I throw two. I throw two daggers.
Double
Be
attack
careful
rolls.
of that cutting board, Rifter.
Okay, 2 attack rolls. One of them is my dagger of returning.
Rifter, in case you haven't noticed, I use that to, help cook for everyone. So be careful with it.
So as the dagger of returning slams into it, you hear a voice from the great ether of the gods above. That was mahogany.
I hear the mahogany. I look around. I say, Lorik. I'm still looking up. Are you religious?
What do you think, Rifter?
I shrug and I say, uh-huh.
Let's just say my people don't exactly have a forgiving history with the gods.
Right. And I go ahead and I nab the dagger. I put the board away and I say, next bloke, I'm gonna steal one, fuck it. I get my stuff and I head immediately over to town to try to steal a cutting board.
Wheeze.
Lork
Seems
grumbles
roundabout.
discontentedly at Rifter, but
Yeah,
but
so just because it's your character, I have to ask, is it the metaphorical steal a cutting board or the literal steal a cutting board?
whichever comes first.
Well, roll me a sleight of hand.
Okay. Also, before I leave, I do like cock my head back. I just say, Darius, we all care about you, mate. And I head on off. And then my sleight of hand. 15?
You do not get caught, but you do not manage to smuggle one up.
Okay, realizing that I'm a little out of my game, I just fucking buy one.
Yeah. You buy one for 5 copper.
Okay, for the record, if it would be like, it doesn't have to be a cutting board, just any plank of wood.
Yeah,
if that would
you
be
buy
cheaper.
it for 5 copper for one that's the
Okay.
right size with a thickness you like.
Okay, cool. It's thick. I head on
Yes.
back, and that's what I do. I practice knife throwing.
You hear no voices from the ether above.
Correction.
believe-
I
Go for it.
Oh, I say that for the expedience of time and not having to go pick up a knife every 2 seconds, I use my dagger of returning.
Yeah, of course. You can afford to be lazy. That's what magic is for anyway. It's sure it might literally be able to reshape reality as we see fit and like literally is a tool to slay gods, but at the same time, like 20 feet is 20 feet.
Gas knife.
20 feet is 20 feet, and I don't want to walk that. Think if I do that
True.
10 times, that's 200 feet. Twice.
True.
I gotta be skipping leg day, man.
You know, sometimes I worry about Rifter.
Sometimes.
As I throw the dagger, I say,
Could I?
Okay.
Could I be home because I want to throw daggers at shit?
Sure.
Yeah, baby.
You all
I
come,
reach the giant
and the
slab.
first thing you hear as you're about to open the door, you hear the
Mhm.
ka-chung of combat as a dagger slams into the wall.
It's a small dagger, 2 inches of wood. Oh, he runs out. So, yes, dagger throwing.
I pop the dagger back into my hand. I choose to believe that is the sound that it makes. Also, as I throw the dagger into the wood, I just look over at Lork and I say, "Nothing to be concerned about. I'm just a standard criminal."
That's what I'm worried about.
Where's the wood?
It is right in the middle, right here.
You should
Yeah,
draw
I was about to say I'm gonna draw it. I'm glad we had the same idea.
Wow, it's almost as if in this house that's completely custom made, we could custom make it. Wow.
Wait, oh my god, I'm so bad at this.
Worried
You
about
know, I take it back. Sometimes I worry about both of them.
Cross boomerang. 19.
Excuse me.
No, I threw a boomerang.
Sir DM, how much does it take to actually hit this thing?
AC on board, please.
Yeah, give me
AC
the
on
AC.
board is probably a -1, so I'd say like 9.
Okay, it takes a 9. Okay, cool.
Oh,
Because
that's pretty
10.
easy.
Yeah.
I'm just
Okay.
not talking
Hey,
to her.
Hitting
okay.
the board is
I
easy. It's obviously the more central parts that like.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And
Any of you guys want to throw one? Look at
I'd rather not.
Darius and Loric.
relieves the tension.
The last
Come on,
time
what are
I
you
tried
gonna
to throw
lose?
something.
5 silver.
Well,
Or 3 silver, pardon.
the worst I've seen is someone losing a finger.
I'll catch it if you throw it bad.
I could lose one of my
That's
spears.
what I'm worried about.
We know a good cleric.
Mm.
Yeah, true. Plus,
Some reason I don't entirely doubt Hate's healing capabilities, but I also don't exactly.
Hate is passed out
trust me.
asleep.
no, trust me. Do it. Do it. Do it. He like. Wait. So did Darius say that he wanted to throw a spear?
The one that I was throwing, or that can be thrown, is currently being identified. I
Ah,
could theoretically summon it here, possibly.
Yeah, but it's being
But then you would
identified.
have to make
Wouldn't
another.
And I point to the wall. I say, I don't know about spear.
What about just a dagger? Just one of Riptor's daggers.
I pull out my dagger of returning.
Sure.
I hand it to you. Handle first because I'm a gentleman.
Ah, professional.
All right, you guys ready?
Mhm.
Yep.
Each of you make me 90 20s.
90 20s. Okay.
What's your comparative like attack roll things?
Holy.
Jesus Christ, Rip.
Yo, you two rolled insane. I rolled. Oh, I didn't roll the lowest.
Yeah.
But look at
I have
Rifter.
a-
Jeez, the man actually
have a-
knows the game.
I have a -1 dex.
Rifter, what's
Oh, yeah,
your
I have a-
dex?
My dexterity is I'm
Plus
pretty sure
5,
it's-
right?
Yeah, it's +5.
Okay.
So is mine.
So,
mine's plus
Rifter, I would
18.
like you to add 50.
Okay.
Lorik, I would
180.
like you to take off 10. Darius,
Oh.
what's yours?
2.
Then I would like you to add 20. Dyer, what's your dex?
5.
Add 5. Or add
5. Life is hard.
Add 50.
I mean, this is canonically perfect.
It's classic Darius shit rolls.
True. Unlucky.
I mean, you still got higher than Lorik.
Yeah, I rolled really well, and
But then the fact that he's, Lorik.
I like to imagine Lorik had really good form. Like he knew exactly what he was doing, and then he threw it so hard it just clanked against the wall.
Right. Maybe he has like the perfect motion on the body, but he doesn't. But like when the blade impacts the wall, it's like the handle or something because
Yeah,
he never
it
throws
like
anything.
vibrates off. As we do this,
Wait. Daggers are finesse. He can use strength, right?
Technically.
Oh wait, technically he can.
Because it's a thrown weapon, so it's like a hand axe. Strength.
Yeah.
Does that make him beat Dyer?
It probably means he beats Darius.
so I have a +4 strength mod.
Well, actually, Darius, what's your strength?
It's -1.
Oh.
Let's not go with
Okay.
that one.
Hmm.
I want to see if Lorik beats Dyer at least. I don't think he'll beat Rifter because numbers. but-
And Darius uses charisma.
I think it has to be a weapon you're bonded with or something like
I
that,
know.
isn't it?
Yeah, it
Okay.
Well, we can hang out with the dagger for a bit. Talk to it.
Anyway, so while
Yeah,
you're
for the
playing darts, Lorik ends up having, in a 9-throw game, Lorik ends up having a score of, can you go and recalculate your number and then I'll tell you? Darius ends up having a score of 621. Rifter ends up having a score of 696. Dyer ends up having a score of 662. And Lorik ends up having a score of 667.
Oh, you beat me by 5.
Yeah, this is what me and the Reclaimers used to do.
I swear I would have done better if I had taken your dagger out to dinner first.
Listen, and I the dagger back into my hand, and I kiss it. She's all mine.
Darius summons his lance from the ether and sort of like flips it around to the other side and puts it in javelin throwing position. I mean, I could do this.
Not the wall. Me,
Perhaps it's best if we don't test that theory.
He sort of shrugs, drops it, and no clips to the floor.
I just say, Rifter, remember that time that he threw an axe to the wall? And then I I make a hole smashing sound.
Kapow.
He did not like to lose. I did not like to lose.
Ah, he sounds like he does not like to lose.
I do not like to lose.
I look at you and I kind of like am shocked by how good that was. I kind of give you like a little like soft nudge. I'm like, make a Kenku out of you yet, mate?
Darius uses disguise self and turns himself into Rifter. Make a Kenku out of you yet, mate?
I turn to Rifter and I go like, make a Kenku out of you, man.
I repeat your imitation of me back to you.
At this
It's
point,
like, every time-
Arabella wakes up for the first time in a month, rolls over and says, I'll make a pickle out of you yet.
So
Oh,
at
she
this
turns
point,
us into
Lorik is
pickles.
over in the corner and having a minor existential crisis.
It should be like every time like somebody copies the other, it should get a little bit more distorted until the end. Like it's just like
I can
His
go
voice.
higher than you can.
I look over at
He
Lorik.
said
I look
that
over
meme.
at the other two me's. Then I look back over at Lorik and I say, one of us. One of
One
us.
of us.
As I approach.
Darius holds a finger up.
Fortunately
Darius
for
holds a
me,
finger up. Wait, one moment. One moment. He takes a step back, and with the disguise self active, he casts mirror image.
Oh. Do I have anything like that?
How do I accidentally put white splooge on myself? I don't know how to get rid of it.
Accidentally, he says as a grown adult.
No, I
This
didn't
was
do it.
Rifter's wet dream is really just this. Yo, many Rifters. There's no escape from Rifter now.
Imagine you're just sitting there minding your business, and then 4 identical copies of the same bird come up and beat you to steal your lunch money.
Wait, no, 1, 2, 3, 4, no, 6 of them. 6 Rifters.
Sure, let's go with that. 6.
well, if any of you
POV,
Rifters,
you're a bullstrong.
Yeah, I don't count Rifter as a clone of Rifter, so let's say 5 copies of a bird just come up and steal your lunch money.
well,
Uh,
if any of you Rifters need anything, I'll be in the forum buying food.
Luckily for
Okay.
you guys, Akla is asleep.
But before you leave, I just look at you and very sincerely, but like half jokingly, like 50-50, I just say, need you. I just gotta poke you. I poke your muscle a little.
It's very crusty.
I give you a very honest, very sincere smile.
I'll be honest, I actually didn't quite hear what you said. Can you just DM it to me?
Oh, I said I need you.
Upside down Darius doesn't exist. It can't hurt you.
Upside down Darius.
With an army of Rifters.
Damn, Darius looks so much more emo when he's upside down.
You're right.
You do though.
Because you notice the long hair immediately.
Yeah, like that, it looks like it's just to the side. It's just like, you know, he has long hair. But when it's upside down, it's like it feels like it's covering the eye more, so it's more of like a bang. It's like the
Yeah.
So Lorik is attempting to escape the army of Rifters by doing grocery shopping for the party.
You cannot. There's no escape. We'll go with you. Well, not as Rifter, actually. No, that wouldn't make sense.
Yeah, we're all get arrested. Speed
all of a
run.
sudden the
Yeah,
gods
literally.
the gods cast alter self on Lorik, and Lorik looks down as he sees feathers upon his person.
One of us.
One of us.
One of us.
Can't see
Lorik
your face.
begins to compress and takes on a black form with various different ruffles on his slimy lipid layers.
What's the maximum Rifter age we can get if Zell were still here?
Oh God! Wait, how many rifters?
Because he
can we
could
make?
cast mirror image,
Wait,
right?
you two are rogues. You guys can learn mirror image.
True. Dude,
If I was an arcane boy, yeah.
Magic's gay.
Anyway, I think with Rifter Gang, I think I feel personally like that's a very good spot to end the session.
Agreed.
Yeah, they're just fooling
But
around.
Dyer, make sure you upside down yourself.
Class,
Wait.
this will be on the test. You need to know how many rifters are in a single Hectorum party. You need to know this.
How many rifters are in a revenge?
So, also on the test is what is the average number of times that Lorik sighs at the party's stupidity?
Answer
In a single
0. The
question.
party's never stupid.
True.
Says you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're always
says
big
me.
brain.
You're damn right.
Dude, we're always big brained.
I wouldn't go that
Galaxy
far.
brain.
Oh.
Oh.
Denied.
Upside down, gang. Upside down.
Alright, thanks for watching.
So, the correct a Delmer of Caravan that is escorting a political noble figure is walking down a dark alleyway. Suddenly,
Oh, no.
4 Kenku appear from the side. How many seconds does it take for the pants of the entire guards to be spoiled?
0.1.
If
trick
if the
question.
wind is currently blowing in a southwesterly direction and the monthly newspaper is still 5 days away from being delivered.
It's a trick question. If it was truly 4 rifters, they would never see them coming. They wouldn't have enough time to shit their pants.
Oh.
Answer.
Brain
All
on a
depends on
ball.
how long it takes for the bodies to decay. Yeah.
Wait, I really like Chad's answer. Actually, I'm
Yeah,
like,
same.
wait.
What is it?
This motherfucker hyped my character up way better than I could.
Damn true.
Actually true.
Thank you everybody who's coming back through and watching the VOD, because we ain't got anybody watching it live, and that's a-okay.
I just closed it.
Yeah, well, you just closed it 20 minutes ago, I'm sure.
I just closed it
Something
literally
like that.
just
When did I
now.
close it? I was the only other person in there. I was watcher 2. There was one watcher.
Yeah, there was like
Yeah,
one
I was
viewer for
watching
like
one.
the entire thing. I think it's starting to not count you guys for some fucking reason. It knows. It knows you're on the inside.
Big Poggy Woggy. Good shit, boys.
Yeah.
How will we ever
Yeah.
reach affiliate status at this rate?
Also, big round of applause for our 2 semi-lizard gang members of the party. Very well done.
Clap, 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 clap.
Good job, Scalies. Stick to
Romantic
yourselves.
tension on point. I'm waiting with bated breath.
He's
I
waiting
can-
with his accidental white stuff.
As a grown adult male, nonetheless.
How many
Exactly.
shame points does he have to? How many shame die does he have to roll?
Him? None. He's right.
Damn.
Oh, I rolled a 1 that one time. I should get like a
Dude,
pass
that
was
for
fucking
this session.
awesome.
Yeah, that I'm glad that I told you to take it into your own hands, and you would be judged based on how worthy you were gonna be with your numbers, and you chose a very worthy number, and you were rewarded in compensation.
I would
man.
have rolled 6d9.
Yeah,
No,
and
that
you'd
could
probably
never.
roll like
Axe.
57. No, sorry, that's not right. 54.
I would have
I probably
rolled
would
4
have.
d20.
Rifter, what's that white stain on your bed sheet?
Oh, that can't tell you about that. You
Step
see, when
sheet. What are you doing?
you see, Darius, when a Kenku and a knife love each other very much.
Wait, who's the knife?
Okay, well, thank you everybody for watching the VOD. See you later.
Thanks for
Before I
watching.
get
Thank you for
TOS.
watching.
See you in the OnlyFans.
Oh God.